Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description.
13 years have passed since the Fourth Shinobi World War. Naruto became everyone's hero and the new god of shinobi. All the children looked up to him. He surpassed his dream to be recognized by the village. The whole world recognized him. Sasuke returned to Konoha, but 3 months later he went on a journey, and Sakura followed him. Half a year after the end of the war, Naruto responded to Hinata's feelings, officially becoming a couple. When everyone found out about it, the girls were heartbroken. Naruto was every girl's dream, a handsome, tall, muscular blonde guy with blue eyes, cheerful, kind, strong, the heir of 2 clans. What else could a girl want? After a year of dating Hinata, they got married, and a year later they had a child, an exact copy of his father, who was named Boruto Uzumaki. 2 years later, a daughter was born, a copy of her mother, but with blue eyes. When Boruto was 4, Naruto became Hokage, replacing his sensei, Kakashi Hatake, who became the 6th after the war. Sasuke and Sakura returned 6 years later with their daughter, Sarada Uchiha. She was the same age as Boruto, so they became friends pretty quickly. After half a year, Sasuke left the village and did not appear for 7 years. Naruto's dreams came true, he was recognized, became Hokage, he has a family. But there is one big but: he is unhappy. He loves his children with all his heart, but he fell out of love with Hinata long ago. He even began to think, did he love her at all? Maybe he responded to her feelings because of pity for her? Most likely the latter. He did not want her to have a broken heart like his because of unrequited love, and then he realized that he did not love Sakura either. Naruto returns home for only 2 reasons: his son and daughter. They are not guilty of anything. He can spend the night at work, which he cursed. Who would have thought that the position of Kage is such a hassle? Speaking of Sakura, she was also unhappy. Her husband left them and there was no word from him for 7 years. She realized that she had ruined her happiness, but she has a beloved daughter. Naruto was already tired of all this and simply committed suicide, before resealing Kurama into his son. A young guy of about 17 years old was lying on a bed in a hospital. He was missing his right arm up to the elbow. He suddenly opened his blue eyes and quickly stood up, breathing convulsively and wiping away cold sweat. He looked around and noticed that he was missing an arm. "Is it really just a dream?" he asked into the void. No, Kurama's voice was heard in his head. "This is your future, what will you do?" His faithful friend asked him with interest. "I don't know," Naruto answered quietly, "but Boruto and Hime." "Don't even worry about that," the fox calmed his worries. "They will be born to you anyway, or rather their soul, but the body is different." The fox pleased his friend. "Well, the body, if you don't get involved with Hyuga." "No, if this is really my future. I don't want this. I don't want to be Hokage. I don't want to go home to someone I don't love. I want to be happy with the one I love, and she loves me." The guy answered mentally and lay down on the bed. "I think I deserve it." "Of course you deserve it. It's time to live for yourself," shouted the fox. "Remember your mother's wishes. Find a girl like her?" Naruto asked. "Exactly," the fox nodded. "And believe me, this is not Hinata. She couldn't even satisfy you, my Hime. She would lose consciousness in 20 minutes. The fox snorted. "And this is not Sakura, she's not quite right in the head, and the board. You are a pervert after all." The guy grinned, and the fox only snorted. "But you're right, and I don't like them." A few minutes later a young pretty nurse came in. Seeing that the guy had woken up, she ran to Tsunade's office, who became the head doctor. 5 minutes later Tsunade and Sakura came. Tsunade first hit him on the head, and then hugged him tightly. "You fool, you made me worry," she sobbed. "Oh, it's a pity she's not 20, the fox sighed. "Shut up," Naruto said mentally. "I'm sorry, Bachan." "Don't cry, I'm fine," he responded to the hug and stroked her back with his hand to calm her down. "Well, except for the hand," he laughed. "It's okay, I made you a new one," the so-called grandmother answered, having already calmed down. "I wanted to sew it on today." "Did you do it to Sasuke-kun too?" Sakura asked, without even asking how the guy was feeling. He'll be fine. Let him be thankful that he wasn't executed. Fucking Avenger. The fifth one shouted. But. No buts. A dick in his mouth, not a hand. Tsunade shouted angrily. You rest, I'll go get everything ready for the operation. She said to her grandson with a sweet smile and ruffled his hair. Okay, and how long was I unconscious? The guy smiled in response and asked a question. Almost 2 months. Tsunade answered already at the door and left the room, heading to the operating room to prepare everything. Maybe you should ask her to make a new hand for Sasuke-kun too, Sakura asked, although no, she demanded. What impudence? The fox growled. No, it's her decision, he shook his head. But. I said no. I have no intention of making a promise or doing anything for him. Did I give him back to you? I did. Now figure it out yourself, I've already suffered enough because of you too. Naruto said calmly. He's your friend. Sakura shouted. Friend or not, I said no. His nerves could no longer take it. You didn't even ask how I feel, and you're already demanding something from me. You'd better go to your Sasuke-kun. Sakura pierced him with her gaze, and then silently left, without even closing the door. That same nurse was walking past the ward. Girl, excuse me, Naruto addressed her. The nurse turned to him and blushed. Yes, Naruto-san, did you want something? She asked, entering the room. Yes, can you please bring something to eat? He asked, raising himself a little. Yes, of course, she nodded and asked, what exactly would you like? All the same. To your taste, and please, more, he smiled, which made the girl blush. She nodded and quickly ran away, not forgetting to close the door. Half an hour later the girl came with a large tray of food. Are you sure you can handle this? She asked uncertainly, pointing to the pile of food. Yes, thank you very much, don't be shy, he said, and wanted to lift him up and sit at the table, but it didn't work, so the deuce hesitantly came up and helped him. Thanks again. You're welcome, is there anything else I can help you with? She asked, red as a lobster. No, thank you, the girl quickly ran away, and Naruto began to eat. Of course it was not easy with his left hand, but he gradually managed. And I told you he would eat, a victorious voice was heard. Sure 3. Hello Naruto, we were told you woke up, Chuji greeted him and sat down on the bed, continuing to eat. Hey guys, Naruto greeted after he swallowed his food. Yo. Nara greeted in his usual manner and lay down on the bed. What a lazy boy. Ino shouted and walked up to Naruto's table, and I thought you were going to eat your ramen, she smiled and sat down opposite him. Here's some more fruit, she held out a full bag of fruit. Thank you. How are you? He thanked her and then asked. It's fine. There is no mission, we are helping to restore the village, the girl answered and saw that it was difficult for him to eat with his left hand. Give it here, she extended her hand. Naruto froze, and she had already taken the chopsticks from his hands, moved closer and began to feed him. I myself. Open your mouth and eat. She hit him on the leg, causing him to open his mouth, and the girl shoved the food in. That's better, she smiled triumphantly. Ino, do you even know what it looks like from the outside? Shikamaru asked looking at them. So what? It's hard for him, and as a friend I have to help, she shrugged and continued feeding. Get married? Kurama shouted. She was happy with Sai, Naruto answered. So what? Fuck this Sai, he'll find himself one. Snorted the fox. When did you wake up? The girl asked after she finished feeding him and wiped his lips with a napkin. Not even embarrassed by how it looked from the outside. Well, about an hour ago, the guy answered, coming to his senses. What are you going to do with your hand? Asked Chuji. Grandma said that she made me a new one, today there will be an operation. I see, Ino drawled. And have you heard the news? Ino, no need. Shikamaru spoke up. Which one? The guy asked in interest. Tsunade-sama left the Hokage post. Kakashi-sensei became the new one. And Tsunade-sama made you the heir of Senju, some kind of agreement between Uzumaki and Senju. So now you are the heir of two great clans. She said the news and ate the apple that she brought herself. So it's definitely not a dream, Naruto said mentally. I see. You weren't even offended that you didn't become Hokage? The girl was surprised. No, I don't even want to be him anymore. This news shocked everyone. Ino dropped the apple and dropped her jaw, and in her mouth was a piece of apple. It looks very cute in combination with her cute face. Choji choked on chips. And Shikamaru woke up. Maybe someday I'll tell you why, he said, closed the girl's mouth and smiled. So it's something serious, Shikamaru said and thought. Yeah, Naruto nodded. So what are you going to do now? Shikamaru asked with interest. I need to go somewhere, and then travel, Naruto answered without thinking. He decided this while he was still eating. And what about Hinata? Kind of sad? Ino asked. What's wrong with her? The guy raised an eyebrow. Do you think she'll wait for you? Chuji asked. Shikamaru looked at Ino, then chuckled and lay back down. Honestly? I don't care. I want to live for myself with the one I love, not the one I want, and I don't want to break her heart. The guy answered honestly. Sakura, right? Ino asked, her voice holding the hope that the answer would be negative. So that's it, the fox grinned. What are you talking about? Naruto asked mentally. You still don't get it? Why do you think she responded to Sai's feelings after you proposed to Hinata? The fox asked sarcastically. I don't know, did you fall in love? Moron. She lost hope. That's why she answered, and then pretended to be happy, shouldn't you know that? You've been wearing a mask for so many years. The fox shouted, infuriated by his friend's slow-wittedness. Hope for what? The guy didn't understand, and the fox was banging his head against the wall. You're definitely an idiot. She loved you, but you got involved with Hyuga, so she had no choice, the fox said directly, knowing that it would take a long time for him to figure it out. Now she loves you too, but she doesn't show it. You, idiot, got my gift empathy. So concentrate on her emotions and you'll understand, and I'll go to sleep, you've tired me out with your stupidity. The fox shouted at last and cut off the connection. Naruto did as the fox said and scanned the girl's emotions. He felt sadness, hope, self-love and fear. Naruto's eyes widened, looking at her in disbelief. Did I ask something wrong? She asked, seeing his state. No, everything is fine, Naruto scratched the back of his head guiltily. I was thinking. No, it wasn't her, he smiled and felt relief in her emotion. So young people, get out. Tsunade shouted, and you, she looked at Ino, I'll tear your tongue out someday, I wanted a surprise. Under her gaze, Ino cringed and squeaked sorry. Come on, Grandma, it's okay, Naruto smiled and patted Ino on the shoulder. But why did you do it? Later, she waved her hand. So off we go, and you rest, the operation is in an hour. She said and left. Chuji left the room and went out into the corridor. Ino said goodbye, saying that she would come by tomorrow. Shikamaru got up from the bed with displeasure, waved his hand goodbye and was about to leave. Shika, stay for a while, Naruto said seriously. Nara even froze when he heard his friend's serious voice, and the guys in the corridor widened their eyes. Wait outside, Nara said in a serious voice as well. His teammates said goodbye once more and left. Shikamaru closed the door and sat down opposite Naruto. And? You knew? Naruto asked, knowing that this guy would understand. Nara nodded, and how long ago? I noticed her gaze back at the academy. After Pain's attack, she accidentally let it slip to me. So what are you going to do? He answered, looking his friend straight in the eyes. Honestly? I don't know. She's sweet, beautiful, kind, cheerful, caring, I like her, I know that for sure, but… Are you afraid? Nara chuckled, and received a nod in response, and of what? You don't know a lot about me, I have one secret, he intrigued his friend. And what? Do you think she will turn away from you after knowing him? She is not like that. I have known her since childhood, so believe me, no matter what, she will understand, just try. She is like a sister to me and I do not want to see her suffer," said Nara. He stood up and went to the exit. He was about to open the door when he heard what made him freeze. "I might have children, or rather I definitely do," Naruto said quietly. "Do you think she'll accept it?" "Maybe I have children, or rather I definitely do," Naruto said quietly. "Do you think she will accept it?" And now, Nara began, sat back down on the chair and looked seriously at his friend. "When did you manage to do it? With whom? How much? And do you even know what will happen if someone finds out about them?" "The land of demons. 8 months ago. Priestess Cheyenne. 2, a boy and a girl. And yes, I know, they will be hunted not only because they are my children, but also because they are the children of the main Uzumaki family." Nara was surprised. "If 8 months, then how do you know how many and who?" "You see," he sighed. "I wasn't in a coma, or rather I was, but I saw a dream. I thought so, but it turned out that it was my future. I was unhappy there. My conscience gnawed at me for leaving the children alone. That's why I'm leaving in 2 weeks." "I understand you were Hokage and married to Hinata?" "You're the same as always," Naruto chuckled. "It sounds crazy, but I'll believe you." "But how can you prove it?" Nara raised an eyebrow. Naruto thought. "Have you received a letter from Gara yet?" He smirked. "Okay, I'll believe you. But tell her better, and take her with you. That way you'll get closer, believe me, you won't regret it, she's a wonderful girl. Bye." As Tsunade said, in the evening they sewed on an arm from the first cells. It was pale, so they wrapped it in thick bandages. The arm took root like a native one, because Senju and Uzumaki are distant relatives, and considering that they married members of the main family, he has Senju genes. The next day, early in the morning, Ino came with home-cooked food and fruit. She fed him like a child. They chatted for a few hours, but unfortunately she had to go help her mother in the store. "Ino," Naruto addressed her when she was about to leave. "Yes," she asked with a sweet smile. Would you like to go for a walk today?" the guy asked, blushing a little. "Eh? Of course." She nodded happily with a glass. "Then I'll pick you up at 8. "Okay, bye," she said and happily ran to the store. "Okay, time to go home," Uzumaki muttered. He got out of bed and put on the clothes Tsunade had given him yesterday. A white t-shirt with a red spiral on the back. Black shorts and black sandals. It was difficult to get dressed, since he was forbidden to do anything with his right hand, and to make sure of it, Tsunade put a cast on it. She knows this idiot. Naruto took one apple and went to check out. In the corridor he bumped into Tsunade. "Where are we going?" she asked, crossing her arms over her chest. "Check out, I feel good, and then go home." "No," she said, helping with her head. "But why?" He whined like a child. "I feel great. If it weren't for this cast, I'd be absolutely gorgeous." "You don't understand. You have a new house, in the Uzumaki Senju quarter." She smiled, seeing the guy's wide eyes. "Is there such a thing?" "I haven't heard of it. It is abandoned, since there are no members of these clans, and only Uzumaki and Senju can live on its territory. You wait for me a little. Let's go to the residence. Gifts from all the Kage and your inheritance are waiting for you there, and then to the quarter." "But don't be afraid, you'll have time to walk with her," Tsunade giggled. "I approve of the choice, she looks a lot like Kushina, only blonde." "Sit here." Ino came to her family's flower shop. She was absolutely glowing with joy that she had not left her mother, Nana. "So who's the lucky one?" Nana grinned. "What are you talking about?" The girl blushed. "Is the guy a good guy? I hope he's not a degenerate Uchiha?" The mother raised one eyebrow. "No, what are you saying, he's much better." Ino wrinkled her nose when she heard about Uchiha. "Well, thank God, and who is it?" "Well, okay, Naruto, even if you're against it, I'll still go for a walk with him," the girl said seriously. "Minato and Kushina's son?" Nana thought. "Your father would jump for joy hearing that," she said sadly, remembering her late husband. "Dad? Why?" The girl also became sad. She had a very good relationship with her father, and she loved him very much, and still loves him. He and Minato were best friends. When they found out they were going to be fathers, they made an agreement that if they had a son and a daughter, they would sign a prenuptial agreement. As you understand, there is no prenuptial agreement because Minato and Kushina died on the day he was born. She said, smiling, remembering how she and Kushina would later beat up their husbands. Let's not talk about sad things. If you like him, I'm not against it, I'm all for it, he's a great guy. So you can go home and get ready, but I want his jaw to drop when he sees you. Nana smiled. Ino happily ran home to get ready for the date. She didn't even pay attention to her friends walking down the street. What's wrong with her? Kiba asked, looking at the running girl. He must have listened to me, Nara smiled. Who and what? Tenten asked. You'll find out later, Nara yawned and walked further into the barbecue bar. Naruto had been waiting for Tsunade for half an hour. He almost fell asleep. No, he fell asleep after all. Company, come on! Tsunade shouted in his ear. Naruto jumped up as if scalded and got into a fighting stance. Seeing Tsunade giggling in front of him, he calmed down. Damn, what if I go deaf? He whined, holding his ears. Don't whine, let's go. She wrote out Naruto and went to the academy. On the way everyone approached him and wanted his autograph. Little girls gave him a flower and then ran to their parents. By the time he got to the residence, he already had a whole bouquet of different flowers, and quite beautiful. At the residence, they went up to the Hokage's office, and entered without knocking. Kakashi was sitting at the table. Instead of working, he was reading his book. Don't you understand? Tsunade shouted with her hands at her sides. Kakashi even jumped in surprise. Huh? Tsunade-sama, I'm taking a break. The sixth one made excuses, and noticed Naruto, who was laughing at him just like Kurama. I see you're awake, how are you feeling? If it weren't for the cast, it would be great. How do you like the position of Hokage? She grinned, seeing Hitaki frown. What? That bad? It's okay, this will happen to you soon too, but first you'll have to learn everything. No thanks, I changed my mind. Of course, forgive me, Granny, but I don't want to be Hokage anymore. I'd rather develop the clan and spend time with my family. I don't want them to be lonely like I was as a child, he justified himself to Tsunade. Thank God, she breathed a sigh of relief. I didn't get it? I thought you'd be offended, the guy didn't understand. No, not a bit, and we'll talk about the clan later, it's a family thing. She said and looked at the Hokage. So, Lazybones, where are his gifts from the Kage, and his inheritance? Exactly, Kakashi got up from his chair and went to Minato's portrait, behind which there was a safe, opened it, and took out 10 scrolls. Here. In these 3 red ones with the Uzumaki crest, the inheritance, the rest are in the house of Kushina-san and Minato-sensei. Also, Waterfall sent Naruto gifts as gratitude. The Land of Snow, and the daimyo of the Land of Fire himself. And of course, all 4 great countries. He held out the scrolls, each had kanji fire, snow, wind, lightning, earth, water, waterfall, and the Uzumaki crest. I would like the Uzumaki clan crest to be removed from the Jounin and Chunin vests, since I am planning to revive my mother's clan. I think you would be upset to see your clan crest on every shinobi, Naruto said seriously after he sealed the scrolls into the space pocket on his arm, which was installed in the hospital while waiting for Tsunade, under the shocked looks. Okay, Kakashi nodded. Let's go, we need to buy new clothes, he dragged Tsunade, who was hanging there. In the store he bought himself a bunch of clothes, t-shirts, shorts, pants, shirts, a combat kimono, sandals, and panties. And not as always everything was bright, but dark, only the kimono was scarlet with a black lion. Everything was tasteful. Emu helped Tsunade choose, and they always took what he looked best in. The saleswoman drooled over him, especially when he put on black shoes, black slightly tight pants, a white shirt with tucked-in sleeves to the elbows and unbuttoned on the top 3 buttons. Everything perfectly emphasized his figure. On his neck a pendant in the form of a spiral and a couple of bracelets on his hand as decoration. Definitely take it. Tsunade whirred with a smile, looking at Naruto from all sides. Ino is lucky. Too bad I'm not 20, she sighed. You will still find your happiness, I am sure. Naruto supported her, knowing that it was not true. She found happiness in his children, taking care of them as if they were her own. Okay, what else should we buy? I decided to change the subject. Let's buy you something? Maybe you'll pick up some hot guy? Naruto suggested with a smile, already changing into what Tsunade had given him in the hospital. Let's do it. The girl perked up. They bought Tsunade a beautiful dress, a kimono, and a haori, all emphasizing her sexy figure. Naruto also gave her a gift in the form of a jewelry set, earrings, a necklace, a ring, and a bracelet. It was incredibly beautiful, and cost a lot, but for him it was not a problem. After all, he was a multi-billionaire. Yes, only in the inheritance from his parents he got 3 billion, not counting what is in the house, and there are tens of times more. Also gifts from Kage, in total 87 billion, and the inheritance of the clans, as well as mansions in Suna, Kumo, Iwa, and Kiri. He can always move into them, they are officially his. Anyone who dares to join them will be executed. Well, if they can, of course, there are strong barriers on each of them. He also bought one set of jewelry for Ino, but the diamonds were purple, and Tsunade had green sapphires instead of diamonds. When the seller found out that he wanted to buy them, he almost fainted, because each set cost 450 million. Then they ate. It was already 6 in the evening outside, so they hurried to the block so that Naruto could make it to the date. The district was big, incredibly big. It occupies 1/10 of Konoha. Despite time and a lot of attacks, he was not hurt at all. Tsunade told him that it was because of the barrier that does not let anyone except Uzumaki and Senju through. For Minato, Kushina added his chakra to the barrier. Naruto knew this, but he listened to everything from a pleased Tsunade. Who wouldn't be pleased with such gifts and a bunch of new clothes, and not the cheapest ones? Naruto quickly took water procedures, changed into the very set that Tsunade liked so much. He sealed the gift for Ino, and went downstairs where Tsunade was cooking something in the spacious kitchen. What are you cooking? He asked. Tsunade turned and looked him up and down and nodded contentedly. Carrie. You look great, watch out that you don't get raped, she laughed, and Naruto supported her. Okay. Come here, but don't lift anything heavy, Tsunade said, removing the cast. Naruto tried to move his fingers a little, it was quite unusual, but in time it would become like a real hand. Well, does anything hurt? No, everything is fine, it's just a little unusual, but better than nothing, I'll get used to it in time, thank you, he answered and thanked her. You're welcome. Go ahead, or you'll be late, and don't even think about giving that bouquet, buy something prettier instead. Okay, bye. Naruto decided to buy flowers from her mother, she knows what kind she likes, and Ino shouldn't be in the store, she was 100% prepared. On the way, all the girls undressed him with their eyes. He felt uneasy about it, so he used henge in the crowd. Having calmly reached the store, he dispelled it and entered. Hello, Nana-san, he greeted her mother politely, who was doing something with the flowers. The woman turned and froze. Hello, can I help you with something? She asked, coming to her senses. Yes, please. I need the most beautiful bouquet for your daughter. He said with a smile. Naruto? Sorry, I didn't recognize you, it's just, well, you know, she waved it off. You look great. Maybe Ino? Maybe you'll go on a date with me? She smiled. Sorry, I have to refuse, I can't offend her, he replied. It's a pity, she pretended to be offended. Give me a couple of minutes and I'll do everything. Okay, don't worry about the price, I wouldn't spare anything for your princess. I'm glad to hear it, Nana said with a sweet smile and began to collect the bouquet. For several minutes she was collecting a bouquet and talking to Naruto. Naruto realized who Ino got her chatter from, she took after her mother. Here, she'll like this, she held out a large bouquet of white and purple lilies, white roses, white and purple orchids, all beautifully wrapped. Thank you, how much do I owe? He asked, taking the bouquet. Well, 50,000, she smiled guiltily. The rest is for your help and pleasant conversation, thank you again, he smiled, holding out bills totaling 70,000. Before the woman had counted everything, he left the store. What a bastard. You should see your son, Kushina, she said into the void. Everyone on the street looked at him as he walked towards Ino's house with a huge bouquet of flowers and dressed beautifully. He could hear the woman's voices directed at their husband, when are you going to give me flowers? Study. That's a bouquet, not what you give, and so on. The entire class of the barbecue bar had just left, except for him, Ino and Sasuke, who was in prison. Everyone was stunned when they saw him. Hinata wanted to fall into the ground from embarrassment. Hey guys, Naruto greeted. What are you standing there for? He grinned. Are you going to see her? Shikamaru asked. Yeah, Naruto nodded. Come on guys, let's leave them alone, Sakura said, thinking that he was going to Hinata. Who? Sorry, I have to go, Naruto apologized and walked on. Where are you going? Hinata is here. Apparently only Sakura didn't understand that he wasn't going to Hinata. Hinata herself was quietly sobbing. Kiba and Shino hugged her by the shoulders. On a date, the guy answered calmly. How can you? She loves you. Sakura persisted. And I don't. I'm tired of doing things for others. If you want me to respond to her feelings, then respond to Lee's feelings. Although I still won't do it, I once said you can't command the heart, my heart has already chosen, Ino. Naruto said calmly. I'm sorry, Hinata, but I want to be happy, but I don't see my happiness with you. I'm sorry, bye. Did you know? Sakura asked the calmly standing Shikamaru. That Ino has loved him since the academy, but couldn't admit it to herself? Or that she realized it after Pain's attack? Or that she knew about Hinata's feelings for him, and decided not to interfere? No, they didn't know. Why not? Nara said calmly. Don't interfere? Then how do you understand that? Sakura shouted, pointing at Naruto's silhouette in the distance. God, how annoying you are. Don't interfere in their lives, he will decide who he will be with, not you. The eternally cheerful Nara could not stand it any longer. Just like he said. Give up your love for Uchiha. And respond to Lee's feelings, we all know about his feelings. No way. I'll only be with Sasuke-kun. Sakura shouted. Which was to be proven. You only care about your happiness, and he is just a pillow for crying, even took a promise from him because of which, by the way, he lost his arm and was in a coma for 2 months. Nara burst into a scream. Feeling a hand on his shoulder, he calmed down and nodded gratefully to Lee and Chuji. Let's go Lee, you will definitely find someone who will appreciate you, she is not worthy of you. I already found it, he smiled broadly and winked at Tenten, who blushed. Congratulations. And you, Hinata, pay attention to Kiba. If I find out that your father tries to do something to Naruto or Ino, believe me, the Hyuga clan will no longer exist, or Naruto will show what it means to be an Uzumaki, or all the countries will destroy you. Bye. He waved his hand. Tenten, Lee, and Choji went with him. It's okay, Hinata, we'll make him pay attention to you. He'll even beg you to accept him. Sakura said, flexing her fists. Stay out of someone else's life. It's his choice. Hinata shouted at her, shocking all the passers-by. But don't interfere. You want to be with someone who doesn't love you, please. And he deserves to be happy. So you can't interfere in someone else's life. Naruto was already approaching her house, which was located in the middle of the Yamanaka quarter. In the quarter, everyone was looking with interest to see who such a handsome guy was going to with such a bouquet. Already at the house, he realized what he had said. What? My heart chose Ino? Raced through his head. Yes, go to her, his friend answered him. But I couldn't fall in love with her so quickly. I couldn't. You gradually fell in love with her in your sleep, and you liked her at the academy, but for some reason you were drawn to the hysterical board. So come on, grab your feet and stomp, don't make her wait, it's already past 8 in the evening. Naruto listened to his friend and trusted him, he is an empath and can feel his feelings. At a 2-story house he knocked on the door and immediately panicked, but support from a friend with the words pull yourself together, wimp, and jumping from foot to foot a little, he calmed down. The door opened and the first thing the girl saw was a gorgeous bouquet with her favorite flowers, although she doesn't really like roses, but the bouquet looks prettier. Then the bouquet was released and she saw the one she was waiting for. The most beautiful bouquet for the most beautiful girl, Naruto said with a dazzling smile, which made the girl blush. Seeing her, he froze and dropped his jaw. Ino is wearing a long purple sleeveless dress that highlights her sexy curves. A small cutout on the chest. A slit on the right side from the hem almost to the hip. White lily petals sparkled on the dress. Purple high heels, and a small white bag in her right hand. Ino curled her long hair and removed the bangs from the first eye, now her hair is torn and reaches her waist. The girl also put on a little makeup. She also did not forget about the manicure. She painted her nails with transparent varnish, only the tips of the nails were painted, and also stuck a small glitter on the index nail. Minimalistic, but very beautiful. "Wake up, you fool!" Kurama shouted. "You look great, this is for you," Naruto said hesitantly, red as a lobster, and handed over the bouquet. "Thank you, you too." She babbled with a blush on her cheeks, which made her even sweeter. She took the bouquet, barely holding it in her small hands, she sniffed them and smiled. "Did you buy them from Mom?" "Huh? Yes, do you like it?" "Very much," she smiled, and asked guiltily. "Can I leave them at home, they're just very heavy." Naruto immediately took the bouquet after her words, causing the girl to let out a relieved laugh. "Yes, of course, show me where to put it," the guy asked, smiling at her. Ino led him into the house and led him to the kitchen. The girl quickly ran off somewhere. Well, how did she run off? Rather she walked. Naruto couldn't stop looking at her. It was the first time he saw someone so beautiful, and when she walked, he could choke on her drool. Her slender and long legs were visible from her cut, which looked very sexy. Ino came with the largest vase she found in the house. By size, it was most likely a bucket, not a vase. The girl began to fill the vase with water, but it was hard for her, so Naruto spat on Tsunade's prohibition. He filled it and put the vase in the middle of the table in the kitchen, and then the bouquet itself in the vase. "Thank you," the girl thanked him earnestly. "You're welcome," he smiled. He took one purple lily and tore the stems, leaving only the flower, and Akarane put it behind her left ear, which made her even more beautiful. "Shall we go?" The girl nodded, straightening the flower and her hair a little. The girl locked the door with the key and put it in her purse. Naruto took her by the handle and they went to the exit of the quarter. Everyone in the quarter looked at this couple and dropped their jaws. Now it was clear who the most enviable guy of the village, and what's more, in all countries, was going to. Ino blushed because of their looks. "Don't pay attention, they're just jealous that you're such a beauty," Naruto said with a smile on his face, looking into her blue eyes. "Maybe you think he's so handsome?" She didn't stand aside, and both of them laughed a little. "Where are we going?" "Well, I wanted to walk around the park, then a restaurant and show one very beautiful place," he answered after a few seconds of thought. "Sounds good, but I need to go to my mom's to leave the keys," the girl agreed. "Okay, by the way about your mother, I quote maybe this Ino, maybe you'll go for a walk with me?" He repeated her mother's words, and in the end he laughed at her gloomy face. "Oh, Mom." She wrinkled her nose. Okay, I was just joking." On the way to the store, they talked about different topics and laughed. Everyone paid attention to them, and envied them blackly. They met Shikamaru, Chuji, Lee, and Tenten, who were still walking. Everyone's eyes widened at them and they wanted to approach, but Shikamaru stopped them, thereby receiving two grateful nods from the couple. In the store, Nana choked on her tea when she saw them. "Well, hello, Mom," the girl said somewhat angrily. "So that's it? Well, that Ino? What's wrong with you?" "I was just joking." She waved her hands. Well, here are the keys." She didn't believe it and put the keys on the table. "Well, honey, did your jaw drop?" Nana asked quietly, but Naruto heard her. "Yes, even a blind man would have dropped it," the guy nodded his head. "Okay, bye Mom," said the girl, wanting to continue the evening. "Yeah, just be careful, I'm still too young to become a granny," but although, the couple blushed at her words. That's it, let's go faster, the girl said embarrassedly, taking him by the hand and dragging him to the exit. They went for a walk in the park. Ino was no longer embarrassed, so she took his arm. By the way, even in heels she is a little shorter than Naruto, which made her happy, because she is quite tall and she does not want to be taller than her boyfriend, and she hopes that he will be, and then someone more. In Naruto Park, she won a cute teddy bear, ate ice cream, played various attractions, in short, had fun. Closer to 10, they went to one of the most expensive restaurants in Konoha. Ino refused because everything there was expensive, but under the pressure of the guy, she gave in. The restaurant was atmospheric, live music was playing, there were candles on the tables. Seeing that the girl was choosing the cheapest, Naruto took the menu from her hands and ordered everything she liked for her. Fortunately Shikamaru said so. Realizing how much he was ordering for her, she stopped him and ordered herself Caesar salad, fruit salad with yogurt, a small salmon steak, chocolate cake, and a glass of wine. Naruto did the same, but a large steak. After ordering, Kurama reminded him about the gift. I forgot something here. The guy smiled guiltily. Please close your eyes. The girl didn't understand, but trusted him and closed her eyes. Naruto unsealed the box with the decoration, opened the box and put it in front of her. You can open it, I forgot to give you this at your place. But it's expensive. Why did you buy it? You don't like it? Of course I like it, but I can't accept it. She wanted to close the box, but Naruto took her right hand and put the ring on her middle finger, then took her left hand and put the bracelet on, then stood up and put the ring on her back, and sat back down. That's better, I won't risk it with earrings, he smiled. Why are you doing this? There were already tears of joy in her eyes. Because I like you and I think I love you. If you give me a little time I will confidently say that I love you, and this will show how much I like you and how dear you are. He said, holding her hands, and the girl began to cry from his words. Naruto squatted down, took her face in his palms and wiped away her tears with his big clubs. Don't cry, or I'll cry now. These are tears of joy, fool, I love you too, since the academy, but I admitted it to myself only after Pain's attack. She said through sobs. Naruto wanted to kiss her on her cute nose, but she raised her head, and it turned out to be a kiss on the lips. Both froze, but after a few seconds they began kissing. The kiss was innocent, but so many feelings were put into it. After a delicious dinner, they went for a walk. Ino already had earrings on. They walked arm in arm in a direction unknown to her. Naru, where are we going? Ino asked. She had wanted to call him that for a long time, but she couldn't, and now that he was her boyfriend, then why not? Do you remember the news you told me at the hospital? Nod. Right there. But only clan members can enter its territory. Don't worry about that, we're almost there. And indeed, in a few minutes they were at the edge of the block. I need a drop of your blood to add to the barrier. Okay. She trusted and extended her hand. Naruto made a cut on his palm and with her blood drew a couple of symbols on the red pillar, healed her palms, bit his finger and drew with his blood on top of hers, folded a couple of seals, the blood glowed and soaked into the pillar, not a trace of it remained. That's it, Naruto said, wiping the blood from her palm. They walked through the block in silence, holding hands. Ino admired the beauty of this block. Even in the evening it was incredibly beautiful. Naruto led her to a clearing where there were many flowers and sparkles. Wow, so beautiful, and it's probably even more beautiful during the day, she said in an enthusiastic voice. Naruto took a deep breath and gathered all his will into a fist. Yes, that's true. But I would like to confess. Just don't tell me that this evening is some kind of joke. The girl was already starting to get nervous, and her heart was beating wildly, but she was quickly calmed down. No, what are you saying? Everything I said is true, I like you even more. But you should know the truth, I will accept any decision you make. Naruto took another deep breath and continued. Remember 8 months ago, I was on a mission in the demon country? Yes, so what? There was one girl, a priestess of the temple, her name is Cheyenne, after we sealed the demon Moru. She asked to continue her line, I think you understand what I mean. Of course, I, an idiot, agreed. I did not understand the essence of her words, and now she should soon give birth to twins, a boy and a girl. But she will die in childbirth, because there are 2 children and they are purebred Uzumaki, and she is not a kunoichi, she just has the gift of seeing the future. Why are you saying this? She asked with tears in her eyes. They will be left alone, I can't allow that, and in 2 weeks I'm going on a trip, I don't know for how long, but for a long time. That's why I'm saying I'd like you to come with me. I understand, 2 children and not yours, but I can't abandon them, it's not their fault that I'm an idiot. He finished and looked at the sobbing girl. Do you love her? She asked a few minutes later, both of them already sitting on the ground. No. I love you. I don't know how it happened, but I fell in love with you, and I can't imagine my life without you. The guy answered and took her hand. How do you know he will die? The truth? Yes. Good. In a coma I saw a dream, as Kurama later told me, this is my future, so I don't want to be Hokage, I don't want that miserable life, I want to return home to my beloved wife, and not return only because of the children. In the dream, my wife and her father did not allow me to take my children, who were orphaned, and then died at the hands of the white Zetsu at the age of 2. Who is she? Hinata. Sakura kept pushing me towards her, saying that she would be perfect for me. I thought I loved her, but then I realized that I don't love her and never loved her, just like I didn't love Sakura. I always liked you. But I thought that someone like you would hardly pay attention to me, so I hid my feelings for you deep inside myself, thereby ruining your life and mine. I committed suicide at 30, not wanting to suffer anymore. When I woke up, and you came with Shika and Choji. Kurama told me to concentrate on your emotions, then those feelings that I hid in childhood returned. And today they have only intensified and are constantly growing. I truly love you, but if I have to choose between my children, who will remain on their own, I will choose them. I would never make you choose. It's not their fault that their father is an idiot. She said, looking at the fireflies. Tell me, was I happy? As I did until today. You decided to give in and sacrifice your happiness. A mask, right? She asked, looking into his eyes. Yes. I promise that you will be happy if you allow it. He said, also looking into her eyes and gently squeezing her hand. So what should I do with you? She asked. Understand, forgive and give a chance. Okay, she gave in, feeling that he would keep his promises, he always did. Mom won't be happy that I'm going traveling. Really? Will you come with me? The guy asked with sparkles in his eyes. How could an idiot like you, with 2 babies, get into anything else again? She said and put the steak on his lap, looking up at him. But remember, you won't get off so easily for this. And what do you want me to do? Naruto asked, looking at her cheek. Well, she blushed. I would like to continue this night, but at your place. Are you sure? You will already be mine, and there is no escape. The guy decided to clarify. Yes. I want to feel what it's like. She said, already red as a lobster. Dude, that's a bummer, Tsunade's home. His friend said, that's a bummer. It won't work, Granny's home. The guy said sadly. And which one exactly? It looks like she's not going to be left without dessert. Right in the center. That means it's far away, and no one can get here, the girl said sarcastically. Naruto didn't even have time to say anything before she poured a passionate kiss onto his lips. What a bummer, you naughty boys. That means it's far away, and no one can get here, the girl said sarcastically. Naruto didn't even have time to say anything before she sank her lips into his in a passionate kiss. She kissed awkwardly, so Naruto helped her. Ino began to wander her hands over his pumped-up body, and moved her hips a little on instinct. When she felt something hard pushing against her legs, she moaned, opening her mouth. Naruto took advantage of this and began to study her mouth and knead her elastic ass with his hands. After a few minutes, they ran out of air. Help me take it off. Moving away from Naruto, she stood up from his lap and turned her back. Naruto helped her take off the jewelry. After the jewelry was put away in the box and the zipper on the dress was unzipped, the girl turned to face him. Ino moved her shoulders a little and the dress began to fall off her. For Naruto, it was like slow motion. Ino appeared in front of him almost naked, only in lacy violet panties. She shyly covered her firm third-size breasts with her hands, with pink nipples that beckoned to be sucked. Naruto ran his hand along her cheek, going lower, slowly removing her hands, revealing a view of her ideal breasts. He kissed her tenderly and passionately on the lips, and carefully laid her on the blanket that he had unsealed for them to sit on. When the girl ran out of air, Naruto began to kiss, bite, lick and suck her soft skin on her neck. Ino moaned sweetly with pleasure, which Naruto liked very much and excited him even more. He kneaded her breasts with his hand, and Ino unbuttoned the buttons on her shirt. Naruto broke away from her for a while and took off his shirt, and again began to play with her nipples this time. Under his caresses the girl moaned and scratched his pumped-up back. Naruto wanted to give her more pleasure, so he started to go down to her crotch. The panties were already wet. He looked at her from the bottom up, asking permission. After a nod he took off the panties with his lips. Ino instinctively squeezed her legs, but feeling his lips on her tummy she relaxed and spread them a little. Naruto wanted to tease her, so he kissed and licked only near the pussy. After a dissatisfied moan, he already began to caress her wet pussy. When after a couple of minutes he felt with his tongue that the walls of the vagina began to contract, he began to work even faster with his tongue and fingers, giving her more pleasure. After a couple more minutes, Ino arched and convulsively trembling, she came right into Naruto's mouth. Naruto raised his head, smiled and kissed her on the lips, letting her taste himself. "Shall we continue?" Naruto asked, feeling his pants become unbearably tight. Yes. Naruto pulled off his pants and then his boxers, standing naked in front of her. Ino's eyes widened and she asked with fear in her voice. "And will it definitely fit?" "Don't be afraid, I'll do everything carefully." Naruto settled down between her legs and began to move the head of his penis along her labia, having lubricated it with enough of the girl's juices, settled down to the entrance to her narrow hole. After an approving nod, Naruto began to slowly enter. The girl moaned, feeling how her vaginal walls pleasantly spread apart. Having entered halfway, he came across an obstacle. With a quick push Naruto tore her gum veil. Ino screamed in pain, tears came from her eyes, and a small trickle of blood came from her pussy. Naruto stopped, apologized, and started kissing her face, then her neck, her breasts, her lips, everything to distract her from the pain. After a few minutes, Ino moved her hips, giving a sign that she was ready. Naruto moved slowly so that she could get used to it. When he heard a moan of pleasure and not pain, he began to increase the pace. Her moans became louder and louder with each thrust. After 15 minutes, she arched her back, clutching the blanket beneath her with her hands, and came with a scream. Naruto stopped and waited to see if she would pass out like Hinata or not. Ino breathed convulsively, feeling that he was still inside her and hard as a rock. Gracefully, like a cat, she turned and moaned with displeasure when he came out of her pussy. Ino lay down on her stomach and lifted her butt, and spread her buttocks with her hands. "What are you standing there for? Shove it in," she croaked at the guy. Ino moaned sweetly, feeling how they entered her again, and then screamed with all her might, asking for faster and stronger. Naruto got tired of this position, so he turned her back on her back, lifted her legs on his shoulder and began to finish her off again. The girl could no longer scream, only quietly moan. She closed her eyes from pleasure and kneaded her breasts. A few minutes later, Naruto lay down next to her, turned on his side, threw her right leg over himself, and entered her again. After she came again, Ino decided to give her pussy a little rest. She went down with her face to his erect penis and began to suck it, clumsily, but the pleasure did not disappear from this. Naruto was finally ready to come after an hour and a half of their play, having warned Ino beforehand, but she only began to move her head and hands faster. In the end, Naruto came in her mouth. Ino swallowed everything and stuck out her tongue. Ta. Ino pulled him into a passionate kiss, raised himself and with his hand placed the soldier to the hole and abruptly sat on him. Ino had been jumping on him for about 10 minutes and was tired. She had already finished once and the second time was coming. When she leaned over to kiss the guy and stopped to rest a little, Naruto asked her to press herself tightly against him, which she did. Naruto lifted her up a little with his hands, after which he quickly began to enter and exit. Ino experienced 3 orgasms in 5 minutes. Naruto did not stop, he also quickly entered and exited, even when she came. Finally, he reached his peak, barely managed to pull out and finished on her ass. It was so cool. The girl moaned. That's true, Naruto agreed wearily. Shall we continue? Can you still do it? She was surprised. Ino looked at the guy's still half-erect penis. Let's do the last pose, I can't do it anymore. She agreed. Then stand on all fours. Ino did so, pressing her chest to the ground and raising her butt higher. Naruto slowly entered and began to increase the pace, and after a couple of minutes he was pounding her with all his might. Damn, come on, strong han amghm. She asked through moans. This position definitely became her favorite. She felt his entire not small size, as he rammed her uterus. Naruto fulfilled her desire and intensified the thrusts. The girl finished after a couple of minutes, and after her Naruto barely managed to pull out. Both tired but happy, they lay down on the blanket. Ino settled on his chest and threw her leg over him like a owner, hugging him like a teddy bear. Naruto unsealed another blanket and covered himself and her. The last one was something. Next time she will be the first. She said, smiling, looking at him. Glad you liked it. Sleep, it's almost 4 in the morning. Naruto said, hugging her closer. What? Have we been doing this for almost 5 hours? The girl was surprised. Yeah, you turned out to be quite the naughty one, he laughed and kissed her on the nose. Go away, that's it, let me sleep, otherwise I'll tell everyone that I raped you, she threatened. This is the first time I've seen someone with a satisfied face after being raped. Naruto laughed, but quickly fell silent when he felt his soldier being held by a small hand. I'm kidding, you don't have to do that. Think about who will satisfy you and make children. I'll find another one. She chuckled and looked at the soldier. Although it's unlikely that he'll be as hardy and of such a size, oh well, live, soldier. She stroked him one last time and sat back down. Really, let's go to bed already, I'm tired, and about the children tomorrow, that is, later. Okay, I love you. Naruto hugged her even tighter and kissed the top of her head. And I you. The sun was already up, but our couple was still sleeping, the birds were singing, and Kurama was meanly rubbing his paws and holding back his laughter. There you are. Damn macho. That was the reason for his good mood. Tsunade came out into the clearing and kicked Naruto in the shoulder. Aya. Ino squealed. Bachan, what are you doing here? The guy asked fearfully. You are a shameless bastard. You could at least do this at home, and not in the forest like savages. Poor girl, you broke off a date and raped her. She shook her head. What are you doing? I didn't do it. Naruto shouted. Ino, confirm. Tsunade-sama, he brought me here to show me a beautiful place, and then he pounced on me and raped me, she said, sobbing. Ino decided to make fun of him a little. What the fuck? That never happened. He screamed, starting to crawl away from the angry Tsunade. Fortunately he got up at night to do his business and put on his boxers. Granny, I didn't do anything like that. But the girl says something else, decide. Death or. Either or, I'm still young. The guy shouted. Well, congratulations, you're getting married. What the fuck? On whom? If it's not Ino, then death. Naruto shouted, not understanding anything. Tsunade is so angry. BRR, even Kurama was fluffy the first time they met. To Hyuga Hinata. The girl grinned. Death. I choose death. Naruto knelt down and spread his arms out to the sides, awaiting execution. Okay, Romeo, get dressed and go home, Nana was looking for her. She laughed. You can tell me about the dream later, and about the kids. I think Ino will be uncomfortable in a dress after such a night. She handed over a pair of sweatpants from nowhere, and one of Naruto's t-shirts. You're a pervert. Were you peeping? The guy shouted indignantly. No, idiot, she just overheard your conversation and then retreated. Tsunade shouted and hit him on the head, not too weakly. That's because you didn't tell me about the kids, I'll give you a hard time later, imbecile, you'd have to be an idiot not to understand what she was talking about. So breathe Tsunade, breathe, you'll have little babies, breathe. No fucking way. She tried to calm down, but it didn't work and hit him again. You're dressed. Let's go feed you. I also need to send a clone to your mother so she doesn't worry. Damn savages, he couldn't bring a girl home. I talked him into it, no need to argue, I just wanted to. The girl tried to justify her boyfriend. Okay, this is in the trash, Tsunade said, picking up her wet panties with 2 fingers and putting them in a bag. The dress, shoes, jewelry, and Naruto's clothes in another bag. Let's go, it's time for lunch. And Naru? She asked embarrassedly, tearing her gaze away from the bag containing her panties and looked at the guy who was lying in the shape of a star. He'll come to his senses, and then I'll give him such a hard time. I didn't know he was a piece of imbecile, and what did you see in him? Part 6 Commentary on Part 6. I hope you like the turn of events. In the main Uzumaki house, Tsunade and Ino were sitting. They had already had lunch, and were sitting and drinking tea with cake. And how long did you last? Tsunade asked with interest. What are you talking about? The girl asked, her cheeks flushed. Don't play dumb, Tsunade squeaked. 5 o'clock, answered the girl, red as a lobster. Impressive. I heard from my grandmother that with Uzumaki men, ordinary girls, well, from other clans, couldn't even stand it for an hour and a half. The girl shared the information. Can I take your blood for analysis? Why? Ino asked, red as a tomato. Maybe you have Uzumaki or Senju genes, since you're so resilient in bed. Tsunade smirked. Okay, I won't embarrass you. I understand you're going on a trip with him? It's just that I already left then. Yes, he will do something, and with 2 babies it will be difficult. And you're not against them? Tsunade asked. No, the main thing is not who gave birth to them, but who raised them, and they are Naruto's children, so I don't mind. Ino puffed out a little and answered. You think correctly, for example, he is not my real grandson, but I love him as my own, even though he is an imbecile. Tsunade nodded her head approvingly. Can I ask a question? Ino asked uncertainly. Well, taking a sip of tea, Tsunade raised an eyebrow, expecting her question. Why did you make him your heir? She asked the question that interested her. You see, there is an agreement between our clans. If one of the clans is destroyed and at least one person remains under the age of 18, the other clan must take care of him. I couldn't adopt him as a child, because of Danzo and those 2 old men. I was even forbidden to approach him. I had to obey and leave the village because I would not be able to bear it and would kidnap him. So I've been taking care of him since he was 30. And no, not because of the agreement. But there is one more point. Tsunade remained silent and began to think about whether to say it or not. Okay, as you know, my grandmother Mito Uzumaki, the eldest daughter of the head of the Uzumaki clan, she married grandfather Hashirama, the head of the Senju. I mean, now it's the Senju's turn to marry the eldest time of the clan to the head, or the future head. That is, Ino began to understand. Yes, I was supposed to marry the head of Uzumaki, and as you understand, Naruto is the future head, but because of the age difference, alas, Tsunade smiled sadly. You like him, don't you? I mean as a man. Ino asked calmly, sipping her tea. I won't deny it, but my friend left. Tsunade said sadly. Ino felt sorry for her, so many years and she is alone, she doesn't even have children. She thought for a bit and decided to ask. Tsunade-sama, what if you confess to him after the trip? Ino asked in a serious voice. Her question made Tsunade choke on her tea. What? Did someone fuck your brains out last night? Tsunade shouted. Almost. Ino said quietly. I just want you to be happy, and it's the tradition of your clans. I agree to share him with you, I don't know why, but I'm nervous about you knowing that you like him. I'm sure we'll get along, and we won't be jealous of each other. And he's enough for both of us, he's too hardy, I can't handle him myself, and I don't want him to go around dissatisfied. Do you understand what you're saying? The girl asked loudly. Yes. I want you, like me in the future, to become his wives. I heard that this is nothing new for Uzumaki, because of their endurance. Also, that in a dying clan, the head can have several wives. Then why not Hinata, Tenten, and a bunch of other girls? Tsunade raised an eyebrow. I told you that I'm not jealous of him towards you, but I am jealous of others. I'll cut their throats. And I'm ready to share him only with you. Ino answered calmly, sipping tea. You're sick, Tsunade shook her head. Maybe, or maybe I just want us both to be happy. The girl shrugged and took another sip of tea. Well, let's say I agree, but he will refuse. Why would he need an old woman if there is someone like you? Tsunade asked sadly. Tell me, did he give you gifts? He is always ready to help you, like in that battle with Pain. I feel his emotions because of the clan censor. He was worried about you throughout the battle, and after that he came to you every day. I think he loves you as a woman, and not as a named grandmother. As he said, he hides his feelings deep inside himself. Maybe he hid his feelings for you, they just need to be brought to the surface. The girl finished her monologue and looked at Tsunade's frowning face. He gave you something, right? He gave me this jewelry, saying that it shows how dear I am to him. I have the same ones, only with sapphires, and I bought a bunch of expensive clothes yesterday. Tsunade confirmed the girl's guess. You see, you just need to show your feelings. By the way, do you know how much it costs? Ino asked. She was interested in how much he spent on these decorations. No, she didn't know how dear she was to him, she was just curious, because her mother didn't have anything like that, and her father gave her rather expensive gifts. You better finish your drink, Tsunade grinned. 450. Quite expensive, 450,000. Ino said, examining the bracelet. No, you don't get it, 450 million. Said Tsunade and started laughing at her reaction. She slept pretty good, huh? No, that's not why, Ino answered, coming to her senses. I love him as he is, and not because of the gifts. Yes, I know, don't worry, I was just joking. I wouldn't let you go even a kilometer from the block if you were, a whore, and I would take everything. So, Tsunade, you agree to share him with me? Ino decided to clarify this time on a first-name basis. Okay, you've convinced me, we'll fuck the three of us. Tsunade agreed. A cough was heard from the door. Flashback. Naruto came to his senses after 1 hour. He sat on his butt and began to rub his head. Damn, that blow was just right, as always. He whined, and then remembered the fox, who was sleeping peacefully. Kurama. You overgrown flea. Why didn't you tell me that Tsunade was eavesdropping on us? Are you out of your fucking mind, bald dick? Roared the fox. Okay, I'm sorry, so why didn't you say so? Naruto apologized and asked. Because I knew what would happen next. And I was right, the fox answered with a satisfied expression. Traitor, and Ino, damn it, raped, he generated in a female voice. If he had raped, she wouldn't be so happy. Stop mumbling, you're keeping me awake, the fox shouted and disconnected the connection. Well, she didn't even leave a blanket. The guy shouted after looking around the clearing. Naruto walked around the block in his boxers with a satisfied face, although not completely, but he was satisfied. He still had the desire to continue, but unfortunately she did not. And to do this while she was unconscious, well, no thanks, it was almost rape, and maybe it was. So Naruto reached the house with his hands behind his head and a light gate. Here he heard a rather interesting conversation, so he asked Kurama to hide his chakra. He went to the front door, directed the fox's chakra into his ears to better listen to their conversation. POV Naruto. Tsunade-sama, what if you confess to him after the trip? This is definitely Ino's voice. What is she talking about? What should she confess? What? Did someone fuck your brains out last night? I didn't do it so hard that I would fuck you right away? Okay, maybe I was a little rough, but she liked it. She even asked harder, or faster. How can I refuse her? No way. What the fuck? She was supposed to be my wife? The bitch and that redhead are laughing. Maybe Ino is right? Maybe I feel something for her? Okay, let's try, like that time in the hospital. If there are feelings for her, they should surface. So, what did Kurama say? Concentrate, it's still hard to do without his regime, oh well. And focus. So. Irritation, fear, embarrassment, shame, resentment, sympathy, love. It turned out, okay. Remember the moments connected with her, the life with the pedophile, the necklace, returning to the village, how happy you were to see her then, the fear for her in the battle with pain, and then in the war. The fear you felt for her when Madara appeared, when you had to fight the Kage, the gifts you gave her. Remember, you fool. While Kurama was talking, I remembered all the events with her. I admit, I like her as a woman, she's cool, and her figure. I even got an erection yesterday when I saw her in a dress that emphasized her sexy figure. Oh shit, what a pervert I am. It seems I really love her, true feelings, but they never surfaced as Ino said, but I definitely like her, maybe try? So what if she's 50? She looks 30, and how even an emperor would get an erection? Bitch, it's all because of a pervert's books. And Inochka isn't against it, she even persuades her to agree. Okay, you've convinced me, we'll fuck in 3, ahem, what? Ahahaha, oh I can't. The bitch laughs again. And what should I do, they hurt anyway. Okay, whatever will be will be. End flashback. Naruto opened the door and calmly walked into the kitchen. Hi, what are we talking about? No matter how hard he tried, the sarcasm escaped. Oh, so when did you get back? Asked Tsunade, as if she hadn't just shouted we'll have sex in 3 a minute ago. Depends on what answer you want to hear, the guy said sarcastically. Spill it. What did you hear? Demanded Senju. We'll fuck 3 of us and everything else. He quoted and sat down next to Ino. Tsunade was red as a lobster, she wanted to fall through the ground, Ino blushed too. What's for lunch? Come on, don't play the fool, if you heard everything, then give your answer. Ino hit him in the chest. Okay. What can I say, my soldier is finished. He laughed. I hope he can handle 2 vulgar beauties. What do you think, soldier? He asked looking at his soldier. He said he can't upset such sexy girls, so yeah. Answer normally, damn it, or I'll unscrew it this time, Ino threatened. Okay. Yes, I like her, but feelings haven't surfaced, but as I said, I like her as a girl, maybe I don't love her like you, but with time everything will be. Yes, Suna? The guy answered calmly. Are you serious or is this another joke? Tsunade asked, hoping for the first option. Naruto smiled and answered. The first option. Definitely the first, Tsunade's kiss didn't let him finish. So what should I do? Asked Ino. Oh, I always want to do this. The girl put her hand into her chest and began to knead her breasts, Tsunade moaned from her actions, Naruto took advantage of this and began to study her mouth, and her hand had already climbed into his panties and was jerking off. Damn, it's not interesting. Ino whined, went down under the table and started to take off Tsunade's pants and wet panties. The smell of her wet pussy clouded Ino's mind, she began to lick her pussy while Tsunade kissed Naruto. After 5 minutes, Tsunade came and moaned into Naruto's mouth. Ino licked all the juices, smacked her lips and smiled. You're delicious, Suna, the girl sang. Oh, thank you, it's not for nothing that you're such a chatterbox. Tsunade thanked her not only for the compliment, but also for her caresses. Girls, maybe to the room? Naruto asked, squeezing Tsunade's breasts. The answer was a kiss from Ino. Let's go, the girls answered in chorus. They had sex until the evening. Naruto was in heaven, he was completely satisfied, as were the girls. They tried a bunch of positions, Tsunade even allowed it in the ass, Ino refused, she was afraid that she would tear it. Like Ino, Tsunade loved the doggy-style position, so every other one they returned to it. They even used clones. Naruto saw that Ino pouted because he had been pounding Tsunade for half an hour and she hadn't gotten anything yet, so he created a clone, left Tsunade with the clone, and apologized as best he could. On a wide bed lie tired lovers. Naruto in the middle hugs the girls by the waist, sometimes going down to their juicy asses. The girls lay on his chest, hugging him like a teddy bear. Ino ran her finger over his abs and watched as Tsunade's finger stroked the soldier. Did you like it? The guy decided to break the silence. Yes, but I won't give it to you in the ass yet. Ino answered in a tired voice. Don't be upset, I'll give it to you, it was something. Tsunade pleased him. You try it, you'll like it, though at first it'll hurt like hell, because of the size of the soldier, but the pleasure is worth it. Now are you jealous of him? Tsunade said, looking at the top of her head. Hearing the question, Ino looked into her eyes. Honestly? No. True, a little at the beginning, when I was only paying attention to you, but otherwise, no. I already said that I don't know why, but I make you nervous. You're sexy, and your figure will be better than mine, but still, no. The girl answered her honestly. Tsunade smiled at her answer and kissed her on the lips. Ino immediately responded. Naruto looked at this beautiful picture and smiled. Let's go to sleep, I'm kind of tired. The guy whined. The girls broke away from each other, looked into his eyes, nodded, and abruptly grabbed him by his manhood, Ino by the soldier, and Tsunade by his balls. What are you doing? Naruto asked fearfully. Now answer. Who did you fuck? Asked Tsunade, squeezing his balls a little. Oi. You, who else? He shouted and stood up, as did the girls. You don't understand, dear, how long was it before us? Ino asked, slightly unscrewing the soldier. Ouch. Only her, no one else. Please let me go. He answered and begged. He didn't want to become impotent, he still had to revive the clan. Despite the fact that Ino was fragile and her hand was small, her grip was no worse than Tsunade's. And what else do you have to say? Tsunade asked, squeezing the balls a little more. Do I love you? Her grip loosened a little. Love you very much? Ino also loosened her grip but still held on. You will be my last, and I will do whatever you want. He said confidently and breathed a sigh of relief when they let him go, and fell on his back. Same here, what do we want? That's later, right, Ino? A nod in support. Sorry, soldier. Tsunade apologized and kissed his balls and ran her tongue along his shaft. Sorry. Ino joined in, also running her tongue and kissing the head. Hearing his moan, they stopped. I'll sleep. And lay down on his chest. Just like Tsunade. Well, that's it. Naruto cursed mentally. Ahaha, that's it, dude, you only do them, and if you look at others, they'll castrate you. Poor Minato, he went through the same thing you're going through now, and they also screwed him over. Ahaha. Kurama laughed in his subconscious. Good night, my dears. Naruto sighed, realizing that his possessions were now in their hands. He kissed each on the top of their head and fell asleep. Good night. The girls answered, kissing his chest, settling down more comfortably and also falling asleep. Yes, it's only 7 o'clock outside, but who cares if they had sex for 6 hours? Part 7 The next morning Naruto was the first to wake up. He looked down and saw a beautiful picture. The girls were peacefully snoring on his chest and pressed against him from both sides and hugging him like a teddy bear. There was a smile on their faces. Tsunade's was wider. She constantly pressed herself against him tighter and tighter, not wanting to let go. He didn't want to wake them up. He created 2 clones, he sent them to make breakfast in bed, and he admired them. An hour later, the clones came with 3 trays. On them were plates with pancakes with strawberry jam, fruit salad, toasts, and their favorite green tea. The clones put everything on the bed and ate. Darlings, get up, Naruto said and kissed each of them on the lips. Just 5 more minutes. Ino whined and pressed herself tighter. Tsunade stood up, rubbed her eyes with her fist, which looked very cute. She looked at Naruto and smiled. Hello, little fox. She greeted him, kissed him on the lips, and finally noticed the food. Cool, you're the best. Suna sang like a little girl. She settled into the lotus position and put 1 tray on her lap. She didn't care at all that she was completely naked, and what should she be embarrassed about? Nothing. What haven't they seen in each other? Sonia, get up, or I'll eat yours too. She threatened Ino, who was lying on the guy's chest with her eyes closed. Tsunade took a piece of pancake with jam and held it out to her lips. Ino immediately opened her mouth and ate it all. I knew you weren't sleeping. Why get up? I'm comfortable as is, and that's why you feed me. She said with a smile on her face, but still decided to get up, sat down like Tsunade and started eating, and then Naruto. They ate slowly, talked and laughed. Ino looked at her breasts, then at her own and frowned. That's how big it is, she said sullenly. A gift of nature. Tsunade smiled in response. If someone else had asked her such a question, she would have finished them off. But because of it, my back often hurts, and it's uncomfortable, so there's no need to envy it. Yours is ideal. It's comfortable for you, your back doesn't hurt, and it's beautiful. You're right about that, it doesn't bother me and it doesn't hurt. Oh well, what's grown is grown. The girl agreed and started eating again, and Naruto stared at one and then the other. Well, don't stare, I feel uneasy. What didn't you see there? If you keep staring like that, we won't have naked breakfast anymore. Forgive me, but how can you not look at such beauties? Okay, look. So, Suna, are you going on a trip with us? You'll help with the kids, and you won't be bored at home yourself. Well, you know what I mean. She gave in and turned to Tsunade, who was sipping tea. I think so. It will be boring here without you. But I want to go somewhere. Don't even think about it, you won't drink and hang out at casinos anymore. The guy gave an ultimatum. Ino giggled at this statement. Relax, I'm not planning on it, there's no reason to drink anymore, I'm not alone anymore, and I lose everything at the casino, so, well, no matter what, she reassured the guy. But I want to go to Uzushio. Uzumaki's homeland? Ino was surprised. Why? As you know, Uzushio is also called the village of long livers. Grandma Mito taught me this technique, she pointed to the diamond on her forehead. I want to find a scroll with this technique and learn something. What if it's not a secret? Ino asked after chewing a pancake. You won't leave me alone, right? Okay, it is also known that my great-grandfather, like Naruto's great-great-grandfather, is Ashina Uzumaki, the first Uzukage and head of the Uzumaki clan. He was 400 and something years old when he died, and he died during the destruction of the clan. He owned this technique, since he created it himself and somehow he rejuvenated his body, like the rest of the Uzumaki. This is one of their biggest secrets, because of which they were destroyed. But you're already young, Ino didn't understand. No, it's just henge. And I want to become young again, so I can have more children, and also reduce my breasts. Grandma said that all Uzumaki women have large ones, and they have to use a technique on themselves to reduce them, for their own health and convenience. Tsunade explained. Ino only nodded in understanding. And Naruto listened attentively. He knows almost nothing about his clan. In his dream he never visited Uzushio, and in Konoha there was no information about this clan. I see. Wait, so you're related, you're his aunt, and you're not embarrassed by what you were doing? The girl asked in shock. No, it doesn't bother me. I'll tell you how it is, Uzumaki children are incest. Grandma said that all Uzumaki are drawn to incest. So we need to prepare because our children will love each other not like brother and sister. Especially twins. Naruto looked at her with eyes like saucers, and Ino thought about everything. Well, I don't mind. Ino shrugged. At least we won't have to worry about our daughters. Tsunade smiled in agreement. Naruto continued to look at her with his mouth open and his eyes the size of 5 kopecks. Naru, how are you? Huh? The guy mumbled. Pull yourself together, wimp. Tsunade shouted and hit him on the forehead with a spoon. No, I don't mind. Having decided to listen to Kurama's advice, Naruto agreed. But somehow it's wrong. Fuck people's opinions. It's a family thing. Okay, let's go take a shower, Ino needs to go home, otherwise mom is probably already worried. Tsunade said, got out of bed and, moving her hips, walked into the bathroom, followed by Ino and Naruto. After morning sex and a cool shower, Ino asked Tsunade for clothes. Tsunade gave her new underwear, panties, that she bought for herself yesterday, in secret from Naruto. He paid but did not see what exactly. For obvious reasons, she did not give her a bra, and she does not have any. Pay alo, Despite the fact that Ino's figure is smaller than hers, the dress fits her not perfectly but well. Ino began to examine herself in a large mirror that hangs in the middle of the dressing room. Tsunade moved all her purchases and beautiful things that she had to the dressing room. Ino helped her with this. All the things are neatly laid out on hangers. In the middle of the room there is something like an island with cabinets, where all the underwear is stored, both hers and Naruto's. There are also shelves for shoes and small things. I like it, the girl smiled at herself in the mirror. And this, I think he'll be glad that you wear it. Tsunade said and handed over a box with jewelry. I think you're right, but I'll only wear the ring and bracelet. I don't want everyone to think that I'm with him only for the gifts. Tsunade nodded understandingly. People are stupid, they'll start saying that she only got involved with him because of his fame and money. Ino put on the ring and bracelet. Tsunade, will you come with me? Because mom is stubborn, she might not let you go. Okay, then I'll quickly change. Tsunade took red panties, black tight pants just above the ankle, a mesh t-shirt, a dark blue combat kimono, and a red belt. She took off Naruto's t-shirt and short gray shorts. She put on panties, black pants. She had to jump and move her but to get them on. Ino, who was sitting on the island and watching her, giggled from her actions. What are you laughing at? Asked Tsunade, continuing to put on her mesh top. It's okay, it's just that if someone saw this, they would lose consciousness. Well, Nair would freeze, he would see something sexy. 2. She giggled and handed kimono. You think? Tsunade asked, putting on her kimono and tying the belt around her waist. Yeah, I'm a 2 and I like a guy, more precisely Naruto, but even so I got a little wet. Ino admitted. It was easier for her to communicate with Tsunade than with others. She is not ashamed to talk about such things and will not look askance. By the way, you should also put on jewelry, you yourself said to be offended. Okay, maybe that's why you don't mind giving it to me? Maybe you like girls when they're wet. Tsunade suggested, opening her sweat bag and taking a ring and a bracelet with sapphires from the box. I don't think so. I often go to the spring and squeeze naked girls, and nothing, it's only like that with you. Ino shook her head, jumped off the island and handed her box. Put them with yours, they'll be in a safe place here. You're interesting, so I excite you, and for how long? Tsunade asked, closing the cleaver. If you don't know where it is, you won't find it. I noticed this when I was your student, but I didn't attach any importance to it. I thought it was adolescence, hormones. I see, what do you think? Asked Sund, showing 2 pairs of shoes, one black, the other red. These. She pointed at the black ones with a small heel. Do you think I'm a pervert? I wouldn't be surprised. First I suggested that we both become Naruto's girlfriends, and now this. No, what are you saying? I'm glad and grateful that you talked me into it, and I'm pleased to hear that I excite a beauty like you. Tsunade said while putting on her shoes. Getting up from the couch, she kissed her on the lips and took her hand. Let's go. Yeah, Ino nodded with a smile on her face. Naruto is sitting at the kitchen table in shorts, practicing his calligraphy. His beauties are starting to come down the stairs. Where are such beauties going? Naruto asked with a smile, mentally chuckling as he heard their conversation. To talk to mom about the trip, and then we'll go for a walk. Ino answered, taking 2 bottles of juice from the refrigerator. And what will you do until the evening? Train in Fuin. Naruto smiled. He likes that she is not shy, she walks freely around his house as if it were her own. Hinata even after so many years behaved like a guest. Do you want me to teach you later? Of course, otherwise I'll be the only one who doesn't know Fuin, and what kind of Uzumaki would I be without knowing Fuin? The girl answered and threw 1 bottle to Tsunade. And teach me, because I only know how to use ready-made scrolls. Tsunade spoke up. We'll go buy Ino clothes, I took 1 scroll. No problem, don't deny yourself anything, the guy nodded. Ino, go put on your shoes. The girl kissed the guy on the lips and went to put on her shoes. Were you eavesdropping again? What? You can and I can't? The guy grinned. And why didn't you tell her that she excites you too? You know I feel emotions, and I know that you like her, even more, so why didn't you admit it? Naruto asked reproachfully. I don't know, are you ashamed? And what does she feel for me? Same as me. He smiled, seeing Tsunade's happy nose. Okay, kiss and go, she's probably ready. At 9 at the residence. Tsunade did just that, kissed and commanded her hips to go out. But you'll be sure that they don't cheat, and if they do, then with each other. Kurama laughed at this situation. You're right, I can't wait for the evening. Naruto smiled, dreaming of watching his beauties play in bed. He wasn't upset at all, they loved them, well, they loved them, and they sincerely loved him too. The girls walked around all day, chatted a bit with Shikamaru, found out that Gaara had agreed to let Temari move to Konoha to be with him, although there was a bit of blood on the paper, oh well. They had a hard time persuading Ino's mom, on the condition that she would write letters every 3 days. They had lunch at a restaurant. Then they went shopping. Ino updated her entire wardrobe, she was ashamed that they paid for her, and so much, and the amount was not small. They also both bought sexy lingerie to please their boyfriend in the evening, and in the future, their husband. Because they bought a lot of clothes and their hands were full of bags, they decided to go home. Anyway, they needed to change and take a shower. Time allowed it. They came home at 7 o'clock, and Naruto was also sitting at the table. Well, this is nothing. He whistled, seeing so many bags. How did you even get here? He asked, already taking the bags from each hand. We don't know ourselves, we got carried away. Tsunade shrugged, following him to the second floor to the dressing room. Do you know what, girls? Naruto asked a little thoughtfully. What? They asked in unison, thinking that he would start screaming. What are you talking about? Do you think I'll scream? PFF, the main thing is that we had fun. He snorted, putting new shoes on the shelves. Let's not go anywhere. To be honest, I still feel uneasy about everyone staring, and this time there will be more looks. You take a warm bath, relax, and I'll cook something. We'll have a romantic evening at home. How do you like the idea? He told them his plan and waited for their answer. I agree, I feel uneasy too, brrr. Ino shuddered, remembering how they were stared at. Me too, Tsunade agreed. That's great. So. 7:20, you have 3 hours, I'll call you down when everything is ready, so if you want anything from the kitchen, run. Ino immediately ran to the kitchen to get a couple of fruits and juice for herself and Tsunade. And how does she maintain such a figure? Who knows? Tsunade shrugged and began hanging clothes on hangers. Seeing that Naruto wanted to open one package, she snatched it from his hands. That's it, go get ready. Oh well, I'll find out anyway. He was offended. Please turn around, I'll take some clothes for myself too. Tsunade obediently turned away and closed her eyes. Naruto took boxers from the box on the island, shoes, black pants, a white t-shirt and a black jacket. He sealed it all. That's it, have fun, bye. After the girls hung up all the clothes, they began to fill the large bathtub. Are we really going to wear this? Ino asked uncertainly, looking at the white lace bodysuit that hid absolutely nothing, only emphasized the right places. What don't you like? Tsunade raised an eyebrow and took out her set. Scarlet lace thongs that split into 2 parts between her legs, so you don't even need to take them off. Unfortunately, the bra is too small for her. I just didn't wear those. What are they called? Thong? Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Why the hell did you buy me just these, and so many of them? You'll thank me later. They're comfortable, they make your butt sexier, and believe me, you'll like wearing them. It's unusual at first, but you get used to it quickly, like anal. Tsunade grinned. I said that I'm afraid in the ass, someday yes, but not now. You like it, so do it, and I'm happy with the usual. Ino started to get angry. Today Tsunade started talking to her about the anus, how great it is. Okay. Tsunade gave in, she would give in sooner or later anyway. I see you took a towel, so let's go. Together? Ino was surprised. Do you have anything against it? We took a shower, and not only that, I remind you. Tsunade said, already completely naked, and dove into the bathtub. How good. Tsunade exhaled, rolling her eyes. Ino hesitantly took off her dress, and then her panties, refusing to be completely naked. Taking her will into a fist, she also dove into the bathtub full of water and foam. "Relax," Tsunade said softly, approaching her face. "You know, what you told me today when I was changing, it was on loan. I love you, just like Naru," she said, burning her lips with her breath. "And what about Naru, the girl asked with a blush on her cheeks. "He knows, that bastard was eavesdropping," Tsunade reassured her. "So, shall we warm up before the evening? I've never been with a girl." "Well, if he knows and doesn't mind, then maybe, she moaned, feeling Tsunade's finger in her pussy. While the girls were having fun, Naruto and his clones were preparing a romantic dinner. He made a Caesar salad, a fruit salad, cut up some fruit, and got 2 bottles of wine from the basement. He did everything in an hour and decided to create an atmosphere in the living room. He found white garlands in the basement and hung them all over the living room. The clone he sent for flowers returned with 2 beautiful bouquets and another one of roses, which he put in vases, and he took a bouquet of red roses and started throwing swans all over the room, and in the center where there were 3 soft pillows and dinner, he made a heart, and put 2 candles in the middle of the table. "What do you think, Ku?" he asked his friend's opinion, looking at the decorated living room. "I think they're having a good time there. It's been almost 2 hours already," the fox answered. "That's not what I'm talking about, let them have fun." "How do you like the room? Do you need anything else?" "Well, not bad. Oh, light the fireplace again, I think it will be beautiful," the fox advised. Naruto decided to do this after water procedures. He quickly took a shower, brushed his teeth, changed his clothes and lit the fireplace. Kurama was right, it was more beautiful with him. Naruto sat down on the sofa, which he moved back a little to make more space, although there was already plenty of it, and waited until 11:30. The girls' moans had already died down, which meant they had finished their fun. "Did you like it?" Tsunade asked, drying her body and hair. "Yes, but it's better with Naru, sorry," Ino answered, doing the same thing as her recent lover. "I agree. Tell me, why the hell did you bring a banana?" "It's good that I'm a doctor, otherwise you wouldn't have anything today, or..." "Don't start please. I just thought that we would have more fun with him, I didn't know," the girl justified herself. She finished wiping her walls, and took her bodysuit in her hands. "Help, will you? I don't even know how to put this on." "Didn't you have a swimsuit when you were a kid?" "Well, it was." "Same method," Tsunade said as she put on her thong. "Okay then." Ino did it pretty quickly, she looks very sexy, pink nipples and pussy are clearly visible, and the bodysuit hugs her figure nicely. "So how do you feel?" asked Tsunade, examining her juicy butt in the haircut. "It's unusual, but pleasant," the girl admitted, adjusting her bodysuit a little. And I think I'll take a bodysuit too, otherwise something's not right." Tsunade frowned. Tsunade took off her thong and ran naked to get a black bodysuit like Ino's. When she got to the bathroom, she saw that Ino was already drying her hair with a hairdryer. Slightly crushing her sexy buttocks, she put on the bodysuit and also began to dry her hair. After that, they did minimalist makeup and went to the dressing room to get dressed in dresses. They bought the same ones but in different colors, Ino's old one with white sparkles and Tsunade's red one, also with red sparkles. The dress fit and emphasized their figures, it was slightly above the knees, and sleeveless. They put on shoes, Ino's were gold, and Tsunade's were black. They didn't bother with their hair, Ino let it down, and Tsunade made a bun. "Well, how is it?" Ino asked, spinning around. "Cool, and me?" Tsunade answered and also started spinning. "Excellent," Ino smiled. "Maybe he fell asleep?" "No. 10 more minutes." Tsunade answered. The girls decided to lie down on the bed and talked until they were called down. Standing up, they straightened their dresses and walked down. At the very bottom of the stairs stood Naruto with a smile on his face, dressed beautifully, and holding 2 bouquets of flowers, lilies, and orchids. "These are your beauties." He handed them 1 bouquet, took each of them by the hand, and led them into the living room where the lights were out. Naruto turned off the lights in the entire house and turned on the garlands. The girl saw a romantically furnished living room. Beautiful, they said in chorus. They had a great time for 2 hours, talking about different topics and laughing, and eating delicious food. Ino, with a gloomy face, chose a banana from the salad and gave it to Tsunade or Naruto, to which Tsunade giggled. After 2.5 hours, the girls went to the bathroom and returned only in a bodysuit and shoes. Naruto-kun, punish the bad girls, they cheated on you 2 hours ago. Tsunade said in a lewd voice. They moved their hips towards him, and then, like predators, they pounced on the guy. Naruto punished them until the morning. It was 10 o'clock, and they had just fallen asleep naked on the living room floor, hugging each other. Part 8 The remaining 2 weeks flew by quickly, nothing unusual happened. Ino sometimes helped her mother in the store, and in the evening she went to Naruto and Tsunade. Naruto trained Fuin, and taught the girls. They had some success, but little, although Tsunade was better at this. After all, she has Uzumaki genes. Naruto made himself a spatial pocket on his neck, from ear to collarbone, in the form of small hieroglyphs. Looks beautiful. Ino wanted to learn the Byakugo technique, so Tsunade took it up. Now Ino is accumulating chakra in her forehead. Kakashi, as Naruto told him, removed the Uzumaki crest from the vests of the Jonin and Chunin. Now they wear regular green vests. The Chunins are a little lighter than the Jonins, and the clan members wear a red armband with the clan crest on their right arm. The old men groaned for 2 hours about this. They'll spend too much money on new uniforms, but no one supported them. Every leader understands that it's an insult to the clan for everyone to wear their crest. By the way, Sakura never stopped interfering in other people's lives. She came almost every day and yelled at Ino, and she sent her to hell. One day she crossed all boundaries. Sakura wanted to hit Ino, and Naruto was just walking towards her. Seeing this, he intercepted her hand and broke it like a match. Sakura screamed in pain throughout the village. But even after that she did not leave him alone. She went to Hayashi and said that Naruto had done this with Hinata and left. Of course, he could not stand it and looked for him throughout the village. Having found him, he wanted to drag him to the marriage chamber, even threatened that if he did not marry her, he would kill Ino, and he would marry her anyway. Naruto then beat him half to death. He would even have killed him if not for Ino and Tsunade, who managed to somehow stop him. Hayashi ended up in the hospital with a broken arm and legs, well, a couple of ribs, and a bunch of abrasions. He couldn't even press charges because he was threatening the heiress of the clan and the head of 2 clans' girlfriend. After Naruto's words, first find out everything and then demand something, the clan doctors believed her. She turned out to be a virgin, as expected. Sakura was seized again and as compensation was forced to sell her house and give all the money to Hyuga, so she lives with her parents again. Because of her stupidity, she lost her friend, Ino, and her classmates hardly communicated with her. Sasuke was released from prison, but he does not plan to stay in the village. Sakura somehow managed to persuade him to take her with him. If Ino wanted to warn her before, now she doesn't. After what she said about her, even tried to beat her, she broke all ties with her, and doesn't regret it one bit. She realized that she was never her best friend, but Tsunade, yes, she has fun with her, she can communicate calmly, and most importantly be herself. Standing at the village gates are Naruto's entire graduation class, except for Sakura, who is on a mission and no one would be happy to see her, and Sasuke is gone too, he has some business. Also standing with them is Ino's mother, who is holding back her tears. Kakashi, who found time to ask to see his student, and Guy, who is sitting in a wheelchair. Ino, don't forget to write to your mother, said Nana with tears in her eyes. Okay, Mom, I won't forget. Shika, please look after her, and you, Chuji. Ino said, hugging her mother. What a hassle. Shikamaru lazily whined and received a kick in the side from Tenten. Good. Kurenai-sensei also wanted to come. But she couldn't. It turns out children are such a hassle. Nara said and looked at Naruto. No one understood what such a look meant, well, except for those who knew, and there were 4 of them. LNA wished you good luck. Say thank you, and this. Naruto took hold of his tattoo. A small scroll with the number 150 appeared in his hand. This is for her and the child, she will need it. Are you sure? Ino told me what these numbers mean. Asked Shikamaru. Yes, it's a sign of respect. I think Asuma-sensei didn't want his beloved and daughters to need anything. Thank you, I'll pass it on, Shikamaru said, taking the scroll. Where will you go next? I don't know, maybe I'll visit Gaara and Suna, we'll see what kind of mansion this is. By the way, when are you going to pick up Temari? Naruto asked, watching Ino talking and hugging her mother a little further away from them. A month later, she's already written 10 letters, problematic woman. Everyone laughed at his words. Nara will never change. Well, it's probably time for us to go, Ino, let's go. Ino approached him with tears in her eyes. The guy silently hugged her shoulders and hugged her. Don't worry, Nana-san, not a hair will fall from your princess's head. I already understood, Hayashi still rides in a wheelchair. The woman laughed, sobbing a little. Shikamaru and Chuji lifted her up. Still, take care of her, and you, Tsunade-san, don't let them do stupid things. Okay, Tsunade answered calmly, but she was laughing in her mind. Okay, bye everyone, take care of yourself. Naruto waved his hand, walking in the middle of the two girls, hugging Ino. You too, they heard from their friends. Ino's mother stood there sobbing for another 10 minutes and watched them go. Although they had already disappeared over the horizon, Shikamaru and Chuji were standing next to her. Don't worry, Naruto and Tsunade-sama are with her. Chuji tried to calm her down. Will you? He asked, holding out a pack of chips. I know. No thanks, send me, I'll feed you, said the woman. Sorry, but I have to take Naruto's gift to Kurenai-sensei, I almost forgot, it's from him to you, he knew that you couldn't take it, so he left it for me to give it to. Shikamaru said and handed over a scroll with the number 750. And what is this? He said that some of them are for the monument to Inoichi-san, the rest is just that. Shikamaru said, looked around to see if anyone was around and quietly said 750 million. Having said this, he disappeared, leaving the shocked woman with the scroll in her hands. And Chuji dropped the chips. 10 days had passed since they left the village. They were moving towards the demon country. On the way they stopped for the night at inns, or in the worst case in a clearing in the forest in a tent, but that was only once. After 11 days they were already at the gates of the temple. There were guards at the gates. State your name, the leader apparently demanded. Naruto Uzumaki, and these are my companions, Tsunade and Ino. We're going to Shien's. Are you that Naruto-san? Who helped seal the demon more? The guard decided to clarify. Yes, I am. Glad to see you, Shien-sama was waiting for you. Open the gates, the guard ordered. The gate opened and our couple passed through it. The guard came down to them and escorted them to Shien's chambers. Having knocked and received permission to enter, the guard let the guests in, and then left. You came after all, the pale girl said with a smile. I'm glad to see you, Naruto. Hi, me too, it's... I know, two girls, Ino and Tsunade. I'm glad you believed your dream, the girl said quietly. How do you know? Naruto asked in surprise. I showed you what your life could be like if you were with someone you don't love. I hope you'll take care of them. Don't be afraid, they won't have my gift. The Uzumaki gens have taken over and they are purebred. The girl also spoke quietly due to lack of strength. We can help you, I am the best doctor. No, Tsunade-san, even you can't, or Naruto's power, I'll die after giving birth. I know you'll love them like family, the exhausted girl said negatively. When will you give birth? Asked Tsunade. Tomorrow. As Shien said, the next day she gave birth to a scarlet-haired boy and girl. The boy has blue eyes from his father, and looks very much like him, and the girl has violet blue eyes, and slightly pale skin like her mother, but not so much. After giving birth, Shien died, having managed to give the last order that no one should interfere with Naruto taking the children. At first it was difficult for them, even if they read how and what to do. They did not sleep at night. After a week of staying in the land of demons, they left it. The children became a little quieter, did not cry constantly, began to eat and sleep normally. Naruto loved them immediately, he even had tears when he saw them. Ino and Tsunade also became attached to them. The boy was named in honor of the first Uzukage and Naruto's great-great-grandfather, Ashina Uzumaki. and the girl in honor of Naruto's mother, Kushina Uzumaki. But everyone named them Ashi and Kushi. They decided to visit Gaara, at the same time see Temari and Shikamaru, and then to the whirlpool. The journey took a week. In Suna, so that the children would be comfortable, Naruto set up a fuin so that the temperature around the children was 24 degrees. They arrived in Suna in the evening. Naruto sent a message to Gaara in advance and he was waiting for him at the entrance to the village, with his brother, sister, and Shikamaru, who, seeing how Ino and Tsunade were smiling and carrying one package each, also smiled easily. "It's good to see you, Naruto," Gaara greeted his first friend. "Hello Gaara, Kankuro, Temari. Shika, I thought you'd be asleep already." Naruto greeted them and laughed at his friend. "If only," he drawled and looked at Temari. "What did you call him?" "Ashina and Kushina Uzumaki." Naruto answered with a smile. "When did you manage to do this?" Temari asked, walking up to Ino and poking her finger into Kushi's plump cheek. "How cute," she sang, "and who is this?" "Kushina, and Tsunade has Ashina." Ino answered and also poked her cheeks with her finger, touched by how the girl was wincing cutely. "Your stripes?" asked Temari, poking the boy. "And he's a copy of Naruto, but without the stripes." "No, but in a month we became like family," the girl answered smiling. "I hope this stays between us, I don't want anyone to know that I have children." Naruto asked seriously. "Of course, friend, let's go to your mansion, you can tell me everything there." Gaara patted him on the shoulder. "Okay, but first we need to go to the nursery for pancakes, milk and other things for the baby." "I'll run, and you go, you're probably tired." Kankuro volunteered and ran off to the village. Gaara escorted them through secret paths to a luxurious mansion, removed the seal and let the owner in. The house was fully furnished. Ino, Tsunade, and Temari immediately sat down on the sofa in the living room. Temari constantly pointed her finger at the children's cheeks and was touched by them. "Stop it, or you'll wake me up," Tsunade gave her over her hand. "But they're so cute." "How can a dumbass like you have such cute ones?" Temari asked, nodding towards Naruto. "Hey, I can hear everything." Naruto was offended. "So what? Maybe you can tell me how this happened?" Temari shrugged. "Really everything, everything?" The guy raised an eyebrow. "Well, we can, we're not in a hurry." Gaara answered. Naruto told them everything about the dream and about Tsunade and Ino being his girlfriends. "And I suspected." Shikamaru nodded. "And you didn't tell me anything?" Temari gave him a slap on the back of the head. "You still get it from me." "Naruto, let me go on a trip with you." "Oh no." Nara asked quietly, and again got a slap on the back of the head. "No, you were happy together, so no, if he beats you, it means he loves you." Naruto answered, causing Temari to blush. "I know you're not married yet, but I'd like you to become Kushi's godparents, and Gaara's godparents." "Did I run to the store for nothing?" Kankuro was offended. "Well, I'm sorry," Naruto smiled guiltily. "I agree," Gaara smiled. "Me too," Temari supported her brother. "And him too," answered for the sleeping Shikamaru. "Where is the bedroom? You must be very tired." Naruto asked, looking at the peacefully sleeping children and girls. "Upstairs, let's go, I'll show you." Gaara answered and took the boy in his arms. Temari took the girl, and Naruto created a clone and took the girls. He laid the girls on the bed, and the children between them. They instinctively gently pressed the children to their chests. "Maybe we should buy a crib?" Gaara asked. "If it's not too much trouble." "Kankuro." Gaara called to his brother. "Go to the store and buy a crib for the twins." "Am I your courier?" "Okay, screw you, but I'll be godparents too." "It's good if you find a girl." Naruto gave an ultimatum. The guy thought about it and went to the store. "Do you mind if we stay?" "It's just almost night." Temari asked. "Sure, help with Shika?" Naruto answered and asked, looking at the sleeping guy. "No need, I'll do it myself." "Shika, Choji ate all the clouds," she quietly said in his ear, which made him jump up. "No." He couldn't. "Damn it, you're at it again." Let's go to bed, said the girl, dragging him by the collar. We're in the very first one on the right. I'll go too, but I'll leave a clone for Kankuro. Gaara said, created a clone from sand and went up. Calm down. And you? Naruto did the same as his friend, went up to the bedrooms, kissed the girls and children on the forehead, covered them with a blanket and lay down on the edge of the bed next to Ino, and hugged her from behind. The girl woke up and moved a little with the baby to Tsunade and the boy. Sorry, didn't want to wake you. It's okay, look how cute they are. I was right. It doesn't matter whether you gave birth to them or not, the main thing is who will raise them. It's only been a month, but I already love them like family. Let's make more when they grow up. Ino spoke quietly so as not to wake anyone, while stroking the children's tummies. Okay, but first we'll get married, and then we'll have kids. Naruto also answered quietly, pressing himself against her from behind and hugging her. No, I want my mother to be at the wedding, but I think that in 3 years we won't be back. Okay, everything is for you, sleep darling, I love you. And I love you, and you, little ones. She smiled and kissed the children on the nose. Part 9 The next morning Naruto woke up at 7 in the morning, got up and saw that Tsunade was also not sleeping, but was looking at the kids who were peacefully and sweetly snoring. Good morning, Tsunade greeted him. Good morning, why aren't you sleeping? Naruto asked quietly, kissed Ino on the top of her head and went to Tsunade, kissed her on the lips and squatted behind her back. I can't sleep, take Kushi, they should wake up soon, let Ino sleep. Tsunade said and stood up with the baby in her arms. Naruto carefully took his daughter and followed Tsunade to the first floor. Sabaku no were already sitting at the table, drinking tea. Good. Temari said and approached Naruto. Can I hold her? Good, you can, but be careful. The guy nodded and handed her his daughter. They're so quiet at night, Gaara said. It is now, but at first we did not sleep at all. Naruto answered looking at the bags that Kankuro brought. He took out 2 milk bottles, washed them thoroughly with hot water, and filled them halfway with milk, put them in a pot of water and put the walnuts on. I bought some more toys and a couple more things, I forgot what they were called, they'll last, likely Yulia, no, not like that, Kankuro thought. Cradle. Temari prompted, sitting next to Tsunade. That's right, a cradle, there weren't any for twins, so I took 2. Thank you, I'll give the money back too. No, this is our little gift. Gaara shook his head, do you need help putting it together? Well, you can. The boys started to assemble the crib, and Kakura assembled the cradles and put them in front of Tsunade and Temari. They put the girl in the pink one. And the boy in the blue one. Naruto took the bottles out of the water, dripped a couple of drops on his wrist, finding out if it wasn't too bitter, it was just right. The children had already woken up and were crying a little. Naruto handed the bottles to the girls and they began to feed them. The children grabbed the bottles with their tiny hands, and then with their legs, and began to suck the milk. Oh my god, they're so cute, I could just hug them. Temari said affectionately. That's true, Tsunade agreed and smiled sweetly. How long have you been with Naruto? Well, the girl asked. 1.5 months, but don't tell anyone. Tsunade answered and asked her. Why? For me it's normal that people fell in love with each other, and you look 30, plus the Senju and Uzumaki gens. I didn't understand why they were hiding. Well, maybe you. And people will say that you seduced a young guy. Tsunade chuckled, stroking the girl's tummy with his finger. PFF, recently these people called him a demon, and now they are ready to kiss his ass. Shit on their opinion, oh. You didn't hear that. She shook her finger in front of the children's eyes. Maybe you're right, but if everything works out, Tsunade Senju will die. Don't you get it? Temari was surprised. You're still going to give birth to a bunch of little ones like that. You misunderstood, I just want to use one technique, but I won't say which one yet. Then okay, it's your right, but where is Ino? She's sleeping, she likes to sleep. Tsunade smiled. Can I ask a question? How did it happen that you both became his girlfriends and aren't jealous of each other? She asked the interesting question. No, I remember what I said yesterday, but I don't know how exactly. Well, they had a date, they slept together in the forest, I gave him a dressing down for not telling him about Cheyenne, and for not being able to bring a girl home, but in the forest. Then Ino and I started talking, and she somehow found out that I liked him as a guy, well, and persuaded her to confess and share him, and he eavesdropped, the bastard. Somehow that happened, and no, we are not jealous, but we are with others. Even though we are not lesbians, we love each other. That's how it is. Tsunade told in short. And he knows that you are with her. Temari's eyes widened a little with her confession. That we sometimes play? Yes, I even pushed her to confess to me. Cool, oh, we're done, what now? She asked looking at Tsunade. The panties need to be changed, and washed. Take Kushi and let's go to the bathroom and give them a bath. Tsunade said, taking the baby in her arms. Let's go cutie, we really need to. Temari said, picking up the girl, and wrinkled her nose from the smell. A month in Suna flew by quickly. Gaara and the future Nara family became the children's godparents. Temari and Shikimari lived in Naruto's mansion. Temari played with the children and learned to be a mother. In a few years she would need it too. They only went outside in the evening, and then only in the garden. Gaara and Kankuro brought food and groceries for the children every evening. Naruto, seeing that his girls had become a little nervous and irritated, left a couple of clones to look after the children. Temari helped him, knowing full well what was wrong with the girls. They spent the whole night in Sabakuno's house. Gaara and Kankuro, at Temari's request, spent the night in Naruto's mansion. The girls after that night became themselves again, and were very happy. A month later, they left the village with Temari and Shikimari. They went to the Maelstrom, and Nara to Konoha. In the middle of the land of fire they parted and went in different directions. Ino passed a letter to her mother through Temari. By the way, she did not forget and wrote every 2 days. Of course she did not write about the children. The road to Uzoshio took another week. They bought food for years ahead. Fortunately Naruto has storage scrolls, and they will not spoil. They decided to stay in Uzoshio until the children grow up, otherwise it is difficult to travel with them. Having crossed the sea, by the way, they barely found a ship that would take them to the island, but as they say, money solves everything. For 3 million, they were melted down. Uzumaki Island turned out to be not as small as you might think. It was all green, tropical forests, wild animals. The island was surrounded by underwater whirlpools, and as Naruto sensed, Isabu had moved here and was swimming in the waters of Yuzo. The island was covered with a barrier that did not let Tsunade and Ino in. After adding their chakra to the barrier, they continued on their way. The island consists of 9 islands, 8 of them are equal in area to 750 kilometers. They surround as if protecting the main island with an area of 3,500 kilometers. Each island is covered with stone bridges, and on each different barriers, as Naruto understood them, some chakra signs them. On the main island there is an unrealistically strong barrier. It would withstand a couple of Jubi bombs. This island was the village of Uzumaki, rather ruins. If we compare by size, then Uzoshio is the size of the country of wind and fire combined, and the village is 3 times the size of Konoha, and the rest of the territory is polygons, forests, fields, farms. Once they passed through the barrier, they all froze and opened their mouths. What the? They were surprised, but there is something surprising. The village is completely intact. And its beauty is impossible to describe. How is this possible? Hello, my descendant. An old voice was heard from the right. Looking at the source of the sound, they saw an old man with long gray hair and a goatee, wearing black clothes and blue armor like Madara. Grandfather? Tsunade was surprised. But how? Allow me to introduce myself, Ashina Uzumaki, the first Uzukage and head of the clan. He introduced himself. I don't have much time, so my successor, listen and don't interrupt. Out of fear of our greatness, the countries united to destroy us, and to their great regret, they succeeded, everyone died. We were betrayed, if not for the betrayal of Konoha, or rather, the Hokage, the elders and several clans, we would have survived the attacks with minimal losses. Before my death, I created a barrier that restored the village, and sealed the remains of my life energy and chakra into the barrier. I don't know whose descendant you are, my great-great-granddaughter Kushina, or great-granddaughter Tsunade, I hope you will revive the clan and return it to greatness. From this day on, you are the second Uzukage and the head of the clan. I believe in you, and there is no need to take revenge. You will not bring back the clan with this, and those who attacked have long since died and few of them survived. Farewell, my time is running out," said the great shinobi and disappeared. Everyone stood and digested the information. "You're not going to worry, are you?" Ino asked quietly, rocking Ashi in her arms. "Don't be afraid." Naruto smiled at her. "I'm not an Uchiha. But I admit, if I didn't have you, then yes, I would take revenge. But as grandfather said, they can't be brought back, and the clan can be revived without revenge." Naruto said, looked at his children, and then at the beautiful village. He looked at the village for a minute and thought about something. "I will fulfill grandfather's wish. I will return its greatness and revive the clan. I hope you will help me. You can handle the first part yourself, and the second, well, how can I refuse you?" Tsunade smiled. "I agree with Tsunade." Ino nodded with a smile on her face. "I think I'll get used to living here. It's much more beautiful here than in Konoha." They headed to the Kage residence. It is located in the very middle of the village, and if you look from the sky, the village is not built like the others, chaotically, and each house was built so that the village looked like a huge spiral. These are mansions. And the smaller houses are like hieroglyphs on top of the spiral. The houses were made of brick, and painted in bright colors. The roofs were made of red tiles. Each house has hewn chains. The houses have a large backyard with a bisetka. And the mansions have a small polygon. In front of the houses there is a stone trinka, and on the sides there are flower beds. The residence is 4 stories high, panoramic windows, much larger than in Konoha. It is like a circle and in the middle is a garden. On the top floor there is a large office of the head, panoramic windows overlooking the garden and trees, a table in the form of a T-comfortable chair for the head, and 3 of the same chairs on each side of the table, a leather sofa in the corner, a cabinet with books and scrolls. On the table lay a blue kage hat with the kanji whirlpool in white. On the back of the head's chair is a white cloak with blue tongues of flame, and the inscription, First Generation Yuzushio. It is sleeveless, just a cape. Naruto put on the hat as a joke, and then the cloak, fastened a gold chain to hold on to his shoulders. It was just above his knees. Kanji on the back lit up, and changed to Second Generation Yuzushio. A huge scroll appeared on the table in clouds of smoke. It says where the cache with treasure, money, and scrolls of the clan is. They decided to go there tomorrow, and today they would rest, and the babies needed to be bathed and fed. They chose the closest mansion. As it turned out, it was Ashina's house, and the rest of the mansions were the other members of the main family. The house was beautifully furnished, in light colors, with a marble slab on the floor, white walls with gold patterns. The kitchen was white with a marble countertop, a fairly large island with a sink and small refrigerators, a large table for 24 people. Despite the time, the equipment was quite modern. Naruto's clones immediately put the food in the refrigerator. A huge living room with a white leather U-shaped sofa and 2 armchairs, gray pillows and a blanket on the back are beautifully laid out on it, a square glass table in front of the sofa. On the floor there is a soft white carpet. A fireplace, above it hung photographs of the entire main family. You can see a young Mito, then when she was older, little Kushina, 8 years old. Naruto started to cry at the sight of his happy mother. He printed out one of the photographs that he found in their house and hung it with the rest. On it are happy parents. Minato hugs his wife by the waist, and Kushina strokes her already large belly and smiles happily, just like Minato. He took out another photograph that was taken in Suna. Naruto hugs his girls by the waist in the middle, and the girls hold small children in their arms, and everyone smiles happily. The living room also has a plant and beautiful paintings on the walls for decoration. The stairs to the second floor are also made of marble slabs, with pictures along the wall. Naruto decided that in the future, there would be pictures of their family hanging here. Under the stairs is a small storage room, with everything you need for cleaning and washing. On the first floor there is also a small guest bathroom, and 2 guest rooms with a spacious bed, night tables, and lamps on them, a large closet with a mirror, and a private bathroom. On the second floor there are 6 rooms, each of them has a double bed, night tables with lamps, a large wardrobe with a mirror. A small table under a large window, a white or gray carpet. And each room has a bathroom with a bath and shower. The farthest room is the bedroom. It is huge, beds that can fit 5 people, night tables, a white carpet, panoramic windows overlooking the garden, a dressing room, a bathroom with a large bath and shower. Even the daimyo do not have such a mansion, and they love to pamper themselves. And there are 77 of them in a mansion. True, some are smaller, but that is not the point. Naruto unsealed a crib, a changing table and a couple of toys in the bedroom. The girls had already washed the children and filled the bathtub with water so they could wash themselves and rest. They left the children with Naruto. He went down to the living room with them so the children wouldn't hear their moans. There he played with them and unsealed cradles. When the girls came down, the children were fed and snoring in the cradles. "Are you done yet?" Naruto asked, turning his head towards the girls. Ino is dressed in gray shorts and a blouse up to her belly button, and warm slippers on her feet. Tsunade is in gray home pants and Naruto's red t-shirt, and she is also wearing warm slippers on her feet. "Yeah, we ran a bath for you," Tsunade nodded, sitting down on the sofa and looking at the kids. "Did you play with them?" "Yeah, so cute, they like fox-shaped toys." Naruto smiled. "Let's go, Naru, I'll wash your back and we'll have some fun," Ino said and extended her hand. "What about Tsunade?" the guy asked, looking at Tsunade. "I'll cook something to eat and sit with the kids, we'll play in the evening." Tsunade smiled, lay down on the sofa and covered herself with a blanket. "You have, I don't know, 4 hours, and it will be ready." "Okay," they nodded and went upstairs to rest. As Tsunade said, 4 hours later the dinner was ready. While they were eating, the children also woke up and were sucking milk. After dinner they bathed the children in warm water in the sink, which for them was like a swimming pool, changed diapers and changed their clothes, carried them upstairs to the bedroom where Ino stayed with them. She played with them and when they fell asleep she put them in the crib and lay down on the bed herself. She was tired, a long journey, games with Tsunade and then 4 hours with Naruto, so she fell asleep like the children, a good sleep. Naruto left the clone to clean up, and he and Tsunade were resting in one of the guest rooms. Like Ino, a little longer than 4 hours, both were satisfied, quickly took a shower and went to the bedroom to the children and Ino, who were sucking sweetly. Ino felt through her sleep that she was not alone in the bed and lay down on Naruto's chest, as did Tsunade on the other side. Part 10 The next day they decided to go to the Uzumaki secret place. Tsunade was the most impatient. The secret place is located in the very center of the village. To get into it you need the blood of the main family. The entrance was the statue of Shinigami in the garden of the residence. When Naruto dripped blood on it, a wide passage opened in the ground, the stairs were in the form of a spiral, and torches hung on the walls. To get to the secret place, you need to go down a kilometer underground. To get into the secret place itself, you need to know the necessary seals, the blood of the main family and a password of 100 numbers. Having opened the iron door, 2 meters thick, the Fuin seals that serve as lamps lit up in the secret place. The secret place was unrealistically huge. It consisted of 4 levels, each of which was about 2 kilometers in size. At the very bottom, the first floor, lay millions of tons of gold and valuables. On the second were shelves with a bunch of small scrolls. If you believe the numbers on them, then there is a fuckton of money, enough to buy all the great countries and still have enough left to live like daimyo for tens of thousands of years. On the third, there are also shelves with scrolls, only with techniques and Fuin. Tsunade immediately began to search by letters for what she needed. On the 4th level are weapons and artifacts. Between them were gold and diamond chains. When Kurama saw them, he shuddered. "What is it?" Naruto asked his friend. "These chains. They are capable of holding bijou like pets. They are something like the Kongo Fuso that the Uzumaki women wielded, but hundreds of times stronger." Kurama swallowed nervously. "Don't worry, my descendants and I will never use them on you. But we need to contact everyone, let them settle on those islands, so they will be safe. Isabu is already here, I think he felt my chakra." Naruto gave an idea. "I think you're right. On the shelves were various swords, katanas, scrolls for sealing, both non-living and living objects, scrolls with kunai, shuriken, senbons, gunbai like Madara's. Apparently he stole it or bought it for a lot of money. Families of shelves were empty, on them was written Samahata, Kubikiribocho, Kiba, Kabudawari, Shibuki, Nuabari, Hiramakarei, 7 legendary swords that were stolen during the attack, and are now known as the 7 Swords of the Mist. Found it! Tsunade shouted. Ino and Naruto, holding the children in their arms, came down to her. Have you read it yet? Naruto asked. No, just like that. Tsunade opened the scroll and quickly began to read, her face darkening with each word. What is it? Ino asked and came over to take a look. It won't work, Tsunade said with tears in her eyes. So, Ino drawled and quickly ran her eyes over the suite. Finding what she needed, she began to read. To rejuvenate your body with the Byakugo seal, you need to apply hench to the age you want. Drink boiled water from the land of waterfalls, and pour senchakra into the Byakugo seal. You probably forgot, right? I have senchakra. Naruto hugged the dejected Tsunade. And I need to see what kind of gift they sent from the waterfall. I've never opened it. Exactly. Tsunade brightened up. And where is this scroll? Support Kushi. The guy asked. Tsunade carefully picked up the girl in her arms and pressed her to her chest. Naruto unsealed a scroll with the kanji waterfall from his spatial pocket on his neck. Well, let's see. He opened the scroll and a small jar with blue glowing water and a note appeared in clouds of smoke. Naruto took the note and began to read. Hello, respected Uzumaki Naruto, in gratitude for your saving the world, our country would like to thank you with the most valuable thing we have. This water is very difficult to obtain, the sacred tree gives 20 such jars per year. If you have health problems, then drink it, it can cure almost everything. Please do not open the jar until you want to drink, it will simply evaporate in a few seconds. Sincerely, Takakage. So it's her? Ino asked, looking at the blue water with interest. Yes. Are you sure you want this? Tsunade asked seriously. Yes. She answered confidently. Let's do it now. But first, I'll use this. She said, handed the girl to Naruto and unrolled one large scroll on the floor, stood in the center of this whistle and folded the seals that were drawn on it. Tsunade lit up when the glow disappeared in front of Naruto and Ino stood the same Tsunade, but her breasts had decreased, now they were the 4th size. How good. She exhaled with relief, not feeling discomfort and pain in her back. She stretched her back a little and touched her new breasts. Not bad, do you want to touch them? The couple shrugged and began to knead her elastic breasts, which made her moan. Oh, enough. Come on, enter the hermit mode. Naruto handed the daughter to Ino, concentrate and entered the usual hermit mode, and not Rakuto. Tsunade had turned into her 17-year-old self. Her hair was tied in a high ponytail and reached her shoulder blades, with 2 strands framing her face on either side. Her face hadn't gotten much worse, she just looked younger and more beautiful. She was wearing a mesh top, with a white top over it that reached her belly button. A crimson skirt, mesh shorts just above her knees, and black shinobi sandals. Well, how is it? The girl asked and turned around so that she could be examined from all sides. Wow. Ino was stunned, as was Naruto. Huh. He grinned, took the jar and looked at Naruto. Are you ready? After an approving nod, she opened the jar and quickly drank the water in one gulp. It tasted like regular water. Naruto put his finger on her forehead mark and directed his senchakra. Tsunade began to glow blue. After 2 minutes of this procedure she died, and naked Tsunade began to fall